Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. Yay!
Very excited to be here.
Very exciting evening this evening, and we're both very excited, aren't we, Maz?
We are very excited.
We're very excited. Special edition of the TNG review show. It's open mic night, so if you look at the top of the chat somewhere up there, there will be a post from the vault with a link to StreamYard to the studio. So if you want to come join us and say hello and chat, please use that link. And we've got our first taker already, which I was wondering if anybody was gonna click the link, and somebody did. So we're gonna bring Tavona on in just a second, but. How are you, firstly, Maz McBob? I'll say hello to my co-host, Maz McBob. How are you this week?
I am good, yes, despite my other half having the COVID bug.
I know, he's got the big C. Not
he
good.
Has, not the big C, the little C, let's call it the little C.
Yeah.
He's doing fine though, but yeah, he's been home all week. Other than that, my week's been normal, just working as per usual.
As per usual. Good. My week's been pretty good. I've just been looking forward to this evening. So yeah. Without further ado, we'll bring on our first guest.
Yay!
Tavona. Or should I say Captain? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Captain Nonan Una Achibi.
Captain Nonan
Una Achibi.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I have to say, is it Tavona or Tavona, or how do you pronounce your name anyway, just so we get it right?
Tavana. Tabby Cakes, or Tavi for short.
Tabby. Love
Tabby.
it.
Yeah. Right.
Cool.
Okay.
Smiler Rainbow says, aye, Captain.
Only company grade, so
hey,
it's not fleet.
Yeah, it's still a captain. That's the main thing.
Captain's captain.
A captain is a captain. And for those, just to let everyone in live chat know, that's your main character in the graphic novel that you're currently writing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got the invite this time, so I can see
Smiley
it now.
Rainbow calls me Tabbykins.
I know. She's like, oh, Tabbykins, that's so cute.
Yes. Oh, Smiley Rainbow's my favorite now.
I'm not surprised. Smiley Rainbow's most people's favorite.
She is,
except
to be fair.
Mickey gets like fan preference status for some reason, doesn't he?
Mickey does.
Sort of like,
yeah.
Yeah, he's a fan of all the different channels and all the content. So bless him.
Yeah. I read your the first sample few pages in the, it's very good.
All of it.
It's very good, and I was very impressed. I did put a comment on it to say the third page where you get to the Borg Queen and it's the music that you put with it just gave me goosebumps, man. When she was ordering the destruction of the planet, and I was listening to the, I can't remember the name of the piece of music, but yeah, it got me feeling emotional.
Cool.
Yeah, it was really good.
That is the hope for the soundtrack, that it really takes you in.
Because
very excited.
I'm actually a massive fan of Star Trek graphic novels. So I've got a massive collection of Star Trek comics and graphic novels. And
a couple of originals, haven't you?
Yeah, so
you now have a stalker.
So this is my favorite. I just thought I'd bring a couple on to show you. So this is my favorite one. This is obviously the Kirk Spock era, and this is a Mirror Universe graphic novel. And it was at the time between when the Enterprise was just destroyed in Star Trek 3 and before Star Trek 4, so they didn't actually know what they'd be on. So it's actually set on the Excelsior. They take command of the Excelsior and take the Excelsior to the Mirror Universe. And I've also got, just as another thing, this is the first ever. This is the first ever Star Trek comic from 1966.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought that in 1992 for £150. So I've actually owned it longer than before than it existed without my ownership. Yeah.
So it's more than doubled its age since you've had it.
Yeah.
If it was 150 quid, like what, 30 years ago or 20 years ago? It's got to be worth quite a bit now, right?
Well, really good examples, and I think this one's like, I don't know what grade it is technically in comic terms, but it is perfect. There's not a crease or anything on it. They go for like around £500 to £800. Like,
decent.
Yeah. So anyway, there you go. Just a bit of a show and tell.
I did say to him, like, each week maybe bring on one of his kind of, things, blueprints, toys, props, whatever. And we haven't sort of managed to do that a lot of the time.
You must now.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here to talk about Reunion today of season 4.
Guess what Sean says? Back when I was in the academy, we started every novel with a song. I think Sean should come on and maybe sing
to us. Yeah,
you should, Sean. Don't be dropping lines like that.
Yeah, get on the show, Sean. You know you wanna.
Well, that's just teasing us, basically. That's a tease.
I have too much pogo in my head, and every time I hear that, I hear pogo. That is on. I don't know if you noticed. It is actually on the soundtrack for the graphic novel. It's a bit of it's a meta insert.
Excellent.
I did notice Data in Picard from Pogo was in your playlist there. I did notice that.
Sean's in the middle of cleaning out his pantry. He's found like 5 boxes of gravy granule things. Oops. And then he went, correction, I found 6.
Yeah, that happens to me.
Cool.
Yeah. Right, I am gonna get on with the script. It's about 3,000 words today, so I went a bit over. But yes, Reunion, episode 7 of season 4, production number 40274-181. It first aired on the 5th of November, 1990. It's the 80th of 176 episodes to be both produced and released. It was written by a lot of people. We got a teleplay by Thomas Perry, Joe Perry, and Ronald D. Moore, and Brannon Braga. So Thomas and Joe Perry were a husband and wife team that just worked on this episode, and I think possibly they also worked on Sins of a Father. Ronald D. Moore, we've talked about a lot. This is his 6th episode of 29 for TNG, the last one being Family. And Brannon Braga, I mean, he's synonymous with Star Trek writing, massive Star Trek writer. This is his first episode.
Is.
Brannon Braga has entered the room. This is his first of 24 writing credits for TNG. And of course, he went on to write and produce a lot of Voyager. And he's now an executive producer on the Orville. So that's where the Orville gets its Star Trek-ness from. The story was by Drew Danon and Thomas Perry and Joe Perry. And they are all the story team of Sins of a Father as well. And, interestingly, it was directed by Jonathan Frakes, Riker himself, and I believe this is the first Star Trek episode that Jonathan Frakes directed. I don't know, you can correct me if I'm right on that, Maz. But...
Well, I knew that he directed it. I didn't quite realise it was his first direction, though.
Oh, I wrote that, but I put that down. It might be.
It might be.
It might be.
Yeah, Sean Zosa's saying it's a Frakes.
It is a Frakes.
It's
a Frakes one.
Oh, for freak's sake.
For Frakes' sake.
New curse words in the future.
It's his second. Sorry, it's his second episode. The Offspring was his first episode.
Yeah, because I remember he was basically not in it, was he? He had
That's right. Yes.
He was in one single scene and then gone.
Yeah, towards the end, wasn't he? He was just in it just to be chatted up by her in the bar. And that was it.
Oh yeah.
He was there.
Yeah.
Just to get things awkward, and then he was out of there again. Yeah. Right, who wants to see the trailer?
Me.
Right.
Me also.
Let's have a look.
You might not hear it so well on here as you would normally, Tavs, because
yes,
it doesn't quite come through so well.
I'm sharing the window,
mute
which doesn't share the audio, so yeah, you won't hear it on the ScreenYard. But here's the trailer.
On the next episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, passion has its price.
Are you my father?
Why did you not tell me?
A dark past threatens a new generation.
He would be an outcast. Another traitor from a family of traitors.
And when Klingon pride is wounded,
As my son, he would also bear my disgrace.
Lieutenant Worf must avenge his family honor on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
I have to say, what a good name for a son, Alexander. That's such a great name.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I would say, is that who you named yours after? But of course, I know that's not true.
No, because mine's named after our granddad. But
He is, yeah.
yeah, but it is a good name. All the same, it's a good name.
It's also your second name.
Yep, it is. It is. But yes, it's
Special delivery of my pager notes that I'd forgotten and left in the living room.
oh, well done. I believe Mickey's been using Word to make his notes now. On he's been getting all digital. Well, he's got like 4 monitors.
A little while to migrate, didn't it, off paper to Word? But he's followed suit.
Yeah, he has got like 4 screens in front of him, so I'm surprised he was still using a piece of paper, to be honest. Yeah. Right.
Smiler Rainbow says, is the surname, is it Achibi? A nod to Chinua Achebe Tavikins. I don't know what she's on about.
Is that Smiler Rainbow in?
Yeah.
Chinua Achebe. Is it a
Chinua.
reference to? I don't
know, but it can be Tabbykins, right? Because that's what she just called Tabby.
No, I just think she just put her name at the end.
Oh, right, I see. Oh, gosh. I was thinking it was like I see. So Chinua Achebe. Right, I'm with you.
It is a nod to the African author, Achebe. The book is called Things Fall Apart. It was my first African novel that I got to read in school. And I thought it was amazing because in the United States, in the Deep South, you don't get a lot of, I guess, acknowledgement of other demographics works. So that was amazing.
Cool.
That's excellent.
Yeah. Smiler Rainbow's a teacher, so she...
Yeah, and she's studied English at Cambridge.
She's well read.
Yeah.
Unlike myself, who just knows Star Trek, and that's about it.
Unlike me, who can obviously barely even read a sentence or a name. And yes, Smiling Rainbow also says, did we name our son after a Klingon? Mickey says, Luke, I am your father.
Okay. Cool. There you go.
Oh, Mickey says that he still thinks paper is faster than typing.
It is.
It depends. If you're really fast at typing. Yeah.
I'm good at shorthand.
Oh, by the way,
yeah, of course. As a writer, yes, you do shorthand.
Yeah, I never mastered shorthand, but
no.
I have been like a secretary in my past, so I can touch type. So I'm really fast on the keyboard. So yeah. I have got blood wine this evening, by the way, Maz, just to say.
So do I.
Cheers,
I
cheers.
have a Zinfandel.
My blood wine's a Malbec, as is standard for me.
Very nice indeed. And G-Star's joined us as well.
Oh, hello, G.
Nice
Good
to
evening.
see you, G-Star.
Yes. If anyone out there has blood wine or whatever you're drinking this evening, let us know what it is in chat. That'd be lovely to see that. Here's the opening shot of the Enterprise, and Mazim Bob for 0 points. What are we looking at there?
That's the smoother one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the 6 foot.
The 6 foot model. Yes. This is one of the only reused shots. Most of the shots in this episode are actually brand spanking new shots of the 4 foot.
Because there's a new Klingon ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
He says morning. He says evening, and then he says or afternoon if you're Tavona. I think he's assuming you might be in America, but you're in. Is it Norway?
Yeah.
Norway.
So
yeah. So it's evening for you as well. Then
is it later? Is it later for you now?
So yeah, you'll only be an hour or two. What's the time for you then?
9 in the evening.
9. Okay, 19. So just an hour different to us.
An hour later.
I'm in the future.
You are. Yes.
Nice.
Okay, so the teaser. While investigating a radiation anomaly in Gamma Arigulan system, the Enterprise is approached by a Klingon battle cruiser. And what a battle cruiser it is. There it is. It's the first time we see it. But the question is, question number 1, what type of battle cruiser is it? Is it A, a bird of prey? B, a D7 class battle cruiser? C, a Katinga class battle cruiser? Or D, a Vorcha class battle cruiser? So is A, a bird of prey? B, a D7? C, Katinga? Or D, Vorcha? For 20 TNG points. Let us know. Let us know in chat. What is that? But it's the first time this model was created for this episode. We've never seen one of these in Star Trek before. It's brand spanking new. It's very exciting. First time this episode came out and we saw it. If you're like me and you get off on ships.
Designed by Rick Sternbach.
How is it? Yeah.
And apparently they wanted to pay homage to the original sort of Klingon sort of ship shape and architecture, but also to bring in some kind of like Starfleet influences. The theory being that because they were, at peace for so long, that there would have been exchanges of technology and that kind of thing. And they also, oddly enough, they decided that it should be about 3/4 the size of a Galaxy-class starship. So they actually made the model 3/4 of the size for no particular reason, but they don't often have different models as scale, but they did for these two. So that's quite cool.
Yeah. I did not know about the point of it having Federation. So that's why it's got like the buzzard collectors and things on the side.
Yes.
I did not know that. See, you're learning new things all the time. Learning new things. But it's got the same sort of foreboding presence, doesn't it?
It does. That looks dangerous when you see it. It's like, oh dear.
Yeah.
We don't have enough cannons.
It looks like it's kind of crouched and almost coiled, ready to spring, right?
Yeah, it's ready to get you, isn't it? Yeah.
Like the head of a viper, even though they call it like a bird, like if you've seen a snake kind of sit back before it springs forward, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we get a bit of lag, chat. Sorry, it's sometimes like around 5-10 seconds. It's YouTube. Don't think we really do much about that. Make sure you got the live button ticked, that it's red. But apart from that, we'll just, we'll have to bear with it.
Are there any other good sources for like these ships? Because all I know is Trek Yards and Memory Alpha. But
Memory Alpha is the one I mainly go to for things like that.
Yeah, there's like sort of, there are other places, but it's difficult, and some of them are run by fans, and so you don't always know what sort of quality you get. There's obviously the official sort of Star Trek fan site, wiki site, and there's Memory Beta, but that's for non-canon stuff, isn't it? I think Memory Alpha is probably a main reference for us.
I've got like Rick Steinbeck's books on ships of the line and blueprint books of all different starships.
He does have a lot of ships' blueprints, I've got to tell you.
Okay.
I've got a bit of a library.
To buy a ticket to show up at your house, Montalban, just to go through all your sources. You have to cover everything in plastic so I don't drool on things.
Maybe he could take some pictures of things if you want to, sort of take some of that in, share it for your for your factoids and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so moving on. When Picard hails the ship, he's pleased to be answered by Ambassador Kalar, who we've met before. There she is. She's like, there you can see, look, she's like, hello, Worf. You can see she's looking directly at him. The bridge that she's on there is the Klingon bridge from Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. Worf acknowledges her with a curt nod of his head, but as we can see here, he kind of looks like rabbit in headlights. He's like, gosh, look who it is. She asks to come aboard to talk about an urgent matter, and Picard assigns Worf to greet her, but he's reluctant due to his discommendation with the Klingon Empire. Picard, though, sternly tells him that he is a member of the Enterprise crew. Anyone... Oh, I see. He's a member of the... And he will not go into hiding every time a Klingon vessel decloaks. I thought for a moment we had an extra person. But I just realised I'm sharing a screen, aren't I? And that's why there's an extra window backstage. I was like, oh, there's another person. But, I'm getting lag.
I've just got a small issue. Sean was saying there's an auction at the prop store the other day. Guess how much the original Defiant shuttle pod sold for? G-Star has guessed 15,000.
The Defiant? Wow. Oh, I saw that.
The original Defiant shuttle
pod. From like the 60s Star Trek, wasn't it?
Oh, right. That Defiant.
I think so. Wasn't it? It's a shuttle pod. Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yes, it was, yeah. So do you know how much it was?
Or I'm going to go 120,000.
Gosh, wow.
I don't know. No, I have no idea. It could have gone for 12 grand for all I know.
Yeah, who knows? Well, hopefully he'll give us the answer in a minute.
Yeah.
Mickey said he must grab a Magners wine because he's off work for a few days in response to your question if anybody was drinking. We've had quite a few answers to questions. Some people are saying about lag. Mickey says that Kayla is a woman with one thing on her mind.
Yes.
Oh, he says no, not...
Oh,
no,
the NX Defiant. Oh, the
NX
Deep Space
Defiant.
Nine. All right, wow.
$32,000. Wow.
Is that all?
Decent.
You think it'd have gone for more than that?
Oh, I just got a 305 server error in chat. That's not good. It's come back again now.
Oh, that's not good. No.
Issues.
Yeah.
Keep going,
Keep going. So in the transporter room, Worf learned that from the Not O'Brien transporter chief that 2 will be beaming aboard. He is further surprised when he sees the second person beaming on board with Kayla is a Klingon child. Yeah, Smiler Rainbow. I don't know if you could just check to see if the kids aren't downloading something. That would be good. I don't know if Alex is doing something upstairs, but yeah, just double check.
G-Star says he was closest with £15,000. That's the closest to 32.
Yeah.
And Sean also says, do you know the significance of the NX Defiant Registry 74205? A 2 and a 5 makes 7. There's a 47 maybe. I don't know. Is that...
I think
isn't it?
Is it a date
like
of birth or
date
something?
Of birth?
1974, like the 5th of January or the 20th of May.
Yeah, it's
74.
definitely a date of birth thing, isn't it?
I think it's a date of birth thing. I think. I don't know. That's my guess anyway.
I have apple juice. So.
Oh, you have apple juice.
Ah,
oh, nice.
I love apple juice. Cool. Keep going, Monty.
Yeah, so I like the way in this shot so Kayla and Alexander beam onto the transporter pad. His face starts off looking at Kayla and he's all sort of pleased to see his old girlfriend, and he's got that sort of glint in his eye. She is. And then as it pans in, it goes from that to that. He like looks next to her and he's like What's that?
Am I your baby daddy?
Yeah. What?
Yeah. He thought it was gonna be a good night, and then be like, oh, you did not bring a friend.
Yeah, Sean says correct, but the date is in America and the date of birth of Gene Roddenberry. Yeah, I thought it was.
Yes.
Sorry, date of birth of Rod Roddenberry. Yeah, I thought it was that.
Gene's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puppy.
Oh, damn it. Sorry,
it's very Marvel Comics, those names where you're like Rod Roddenberry, Peter Parker. It's,
Yeah. You got to have the the same letters at the beginning. Anyway, that was the end of the teaser there. Mazza Bob. Shall I go to the answers to the question?
Yeah, why not?
I'm imagining everybody said vulture.
Yeah, all the ones I've seen have. I just need to check who answered. So Karen got it right. This is 20 points, I presume, yeah?
20 points, yeah.
20 points. Cool. Stu Plum got it right. Mickey got it right. I got it right. Tavi got it right. Oh, I forgot to put me down on the score sheet. And G-Star got it right. If I didn't call your name out, do let me know. Sean, did you answer it?
Yeah.
Sean
did. Right. Yeah, he said vulture.
Cool. Brilliant. Wicked. Everybody got it right.
They were all Klingon battle cruisers, so the bird of prey we've seen in everywhere. The D7 class battle cruiser, that was from the 60s Star Trek, the original Star Trek. The Katinga class battleship, I think. That's a future one. That's, I think, the big ass thing that came in Deep Space Nine, I think. It's either that or it might have been the one from Discovery, but it's one of the ones from the future that we haven't got to yet.
Very cool.
Was there any other goofs or anything from the teaser?
Probably. I mean, I think, you covered that. It was Brannon Braga's first sort of foray. But also at the time, I don't know if you mentioned that Ronald D. Moore and Braga were the youngest two on the writing staff.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a sense of fresh blood at the time. Yeah. And he said it was an illuminating and exhilarating experience, which is good. But no, I've been too busy looking at chat to concentrate on my tribs, so I'll pitch in later.
We got a lot to get through anyway.
Yeah, keep marking on.
Keep marching. My dial-up modem is bringing the pictures in eventually. Do you know what? As well, I have a problem with the word Kalar. Just the way it's spelled, and I'm not dyslexic.
Is it different every time?
Well, I'm not dyslexic, but I have trouble reading the word for some reason. It trips me up every time. So if I keep
murders my.
Yeah, but if I keep tripping up, that's what it is. Anyway, Kalar leaves her son, who is called Alexander, as we know, in the ship's school to play with the other children. She's nervous because he's not had much contact with other children yet. Worf doesn't say anything throughout all this. He just kind of stands there and wanders off. I think he's dumbstruck by the whole thing. While she's alone with Worf in the turbo lift, she's like, not even a bite on the cheek for old time's sake. He's like, not having it. She tells him she knows about his discommendation, but Worf doesn't want to talk about it. She asks him if he's going to ask the question, about Alexander, but Worf doesn't want to ask the question and just walks away from her when the turbo lift door opens. Bonus question for Mazin with Bob and Tavona there. Where is this turbo lift going to open out to? And how do you know where it's going to open out to before the doors open?
I have no freaking idea. I'm so useless. This is like, yeah. I don't know.
I have no idea. Idea.
It's going to open out to a corridor because the door is orange.
Oh.
If it's going to open out to the bridge, the door would be grey. So you can always tell whether they're in a corridor turbo lift or a bridge turbo lift because the door is orange or grey.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. Kalar destroys shorthand if you're trying to take quick notes. So I'm watching this, and every time I have to stop the episode because I'm like,
Yeah.
Funny. I imagine a lot of Klingon words would, right?
Yeah.
Destroyed my note-taking. It was excruciating.
It's a very strangely, even for Klingon, it's interestingly spelt. So during the meeting with senior staff in the observation lounge, Kalar reveals that the Klingon Empire is indeed nearing civil war. The Klingon Chancellor is near death, and two factions are challenging for leadership. If it's not handled correctly, the resulting civil war will eventually drag in the Federation. Picard agrees to meet with the Chancellor on board his battlecruiser. But question 2, what is the Chancellor called? Is he called A, Kempek, B, Gorkon, C, Takuvna, or D, Martok? Is it A, Kempek, B, Gorkon, C, Takuvna, or D, Martok?
You've just really confused me because I'm like, who is Chancellor Gorkon? Like, that sounds familiar for some reason.
No, my chat won't go. It timed out. What's going on?
What's happening there?
No more internet problems.
Tavi's getting all excited about the fact that data's on the screen. How cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's so delicious.
I'll leave that as there as long as I can. Well, spoiler alert, Maz. They're all chancellors. They have been or will be or are at some point. So
yeah, I was going to say I recognise the name, but I can't place who that is or where he fits or So yeah.
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 Sorry, we have to move on. Aboard the cruiser, the aging Chancellor reveals to Picard that he has been poisoned with small doses of Iridium-6 placed in his blood wine for some months now. Ooh. I've got to be... Luckily, I poured this one myself, so I'm safe. And there is no cure for Iridium-6. He appoints Picard as arbiter of the succession to mediate the power struggle following his death. Picard protests that a Federation officer has no business presiding over a Klingon power struggle, but the Chancellor says it's tough, as he's already sent the order and the challengers are on their way. Besides, the Arbiter's traditional role is not to choose the winner, but to set the challenges and oversee the fight for the succession. Right, we're going to go to answers now for the last question, Maz, because I'm going to be saying his name a lot.
So from Sean, we have Kempek. From me, I say Kempek. Also for Stuplum, Mickey, Kaz, and Tavi all got the same answer. Is there anybody missing? G-Star hasn't answered.
He won't be getting the points. Yeah.
And Sean said you forgot Worf and the female Chancellor, and said also presumably Kahless, or was he just Emperor?
He was just Emperor, yes. Yeah, no, I only had like A to D, so...
Yeah, that's our usual. 25% chance getting it right.
Chancellor Gorkon was the Chancellor in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, when he came aboard the Enterprise and had dinner with Kirk and
makes sense.
Spock. Takuvma, he I think was from the future somewhere. I don't know, or the past. Martok is Chancellor after Gowron. I've forgotten what Takuvma was. But, yeah. Anyway, Kempek, yes. So congratulations, everyone. You've done really well with that.
Yay!
I'm trying to like fool people with semi-easy questions, but with like similar answers. Yeah, answers that's the theme this week. It's answers that could be answers. But I'm not fooling any of you yet, am I? I'm not fooling any of you.
Not yet, but it won't take much to fool me.
Takuvma was the Discovery Chancellor, right? Yes.
See, I wouldn't have known that.
I thought it was.
You missed an opportunity to put one of those really stupid answers in, like Tupac, but spell it out with an apostrophe.
Nice. I like it.
Dorkiness.
Yeah. Okay. Kempek says he wants Picard to investigate and discover which of them is responsible for murdering him, a job he cannot entrust to anyone within the Empire. On hearing the names of the two candidates, Gowron and Duros, Picard is now very interested indeed. Gimbok urges Picard that Klingons who kill anonymously with poison must not lead the Empire. Such dishonourable man might be capable of anything, even initiating war with the Federation. Picard accepts the commission, and Kempek raises his glass of presumably poisoned blood wine in a toast and takes his final drink. So, cheers. Kempek, grats.
Cheers. I thought that was pretty badass, if I'm allowed to say that. Be like, he just drunk his wine, poisoned it all. Be like, what? What?
He was just, he was literally taking his poison.
Today is a good day to die of wine.
Yeah. He could have just stopped drinking the wine, but he was like, sod that. Anyway, that was the end of Act 1, Bob. And we've done the question.
Yes. Everybody's on 60 points except G-Star is on 20 points.
Never mind, G. Never mind. Did you get anything from that? Any trivia?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of bits.
Oh, I'm losing you.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Sorry. I was just losing you there for a bit.
This is the only episode where Alexander is played by John Stoyer.
Right, yeah.
In all subsequent episodes, it was Brian Bonsall. And James Sloyan played a future version of him in Firstborn. Mark Warden played him in Deep Space Nine, Sons and Daughters, and You Are Cordially Invited. Yeah. Jonathan Frakes said that he thinks Stoyer was a bit too shy and not warrior-like enough, and thinks that's why he was recast.
He's very cute.
He is very cute. And I don't know if it's because Michael Dorn is just so massive, but he looks so tiny. No, it's so cute.
It's cool. Yeah.
And obviously we all know that Susie Plaxon was also Dr. Solar earlier on, and also plays the female Q in Voyager. She's great. I love her in all of the characters she plays. She's brilliant.
Very cool.
I think that was all I had for the moment.
Is a good shot of the new. What do you think of that one? The only thing is, doesn't you think it looks like they're parked too close together?
Just a bit.
We've got the whole of space there, and
they are.
They did have a bit. They did have a bit where Wesley on the bridge was telling them how close they were brought in. But I hope that's not a question. I will shut my mouth.
No, it's not. Don't worry.
Okay, good. They are parked very close.
Yeah, parked close. Yeah, they're getting very friendly. Yeah. In this bit, we get the captain's log, and we learn that Kempek, who ruled the Klingon Empire longer than anyone else in history, is now dead. And they're waiting for the arrival of Juros and Gowron. There he is. Look at him. Look. Bless his cotton socks.
Ah.
Yeah, he's like, grrr, stay away from my block. Grrr.
It's adorable.
He's adorable. Yeah. Worf picks Alexander up from school because he's busy bullying his classmates. Yeah. You said about the size difference. There it is. Look, he's getting like a cricket.
How adorable he is. I want that outfit. They should be selling little Alexander outfits. My daughter would fit in that now.
Very cute.
How old's your daughter?
She is 5 now.
Oh, so cute.
I had a question about that. Did anyone check the dates on Alexander's age and the age from the last episode where he apparently knocked
That's
up
interesting.
Because I'm like,
that's a good point.
I'm like, I was like, that's a pretty big kid. It's only been a few seasons. This is what season 5? No, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I'll see if I can look that up.
I'm like, he should have some questions. You should have had a different question for Taylor. Not, yeah.
Was that season? Was that in season 1 when? Was it the second time she was in it? I don't know.
I can't remember.
I don't know. I will look it up though.
But it must be like only 3 years max.
Mm-hmm.
Unless like Klingons.
Worf should. Oh yeah, sorry.
Unless Klingons have like an early, growth period. Maybe they like reach maturity within 8 years or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Worf should have had some other questions.
Yeah, I think he should have. Yeah.
You know, you're fine when dude don't even ask questions. You come on with a baby, be like, "This one's yours." Oh, okay.
The episode was The Emissary. I'm just trying to figure out which season that's in.
Unless she had Alexander all along, like they made him before like the season even started, and even even the last 2 times that we saw her, she was secretly hiding him somewhere and just never told Worf.
Interesting.
So anyway, on the walk to Kalar's quarters, Alexander has a lot of why questions, like 5-year-olds do. Like, why is the sky blue? Why are you so tall? Why have we got lumps on our head? I don't know, that sort of thing. And Worf tells him warriors don't ask so many questions. But Alexander has no interest in becoming a warrior, much to Worf's dismay. He confronts Kalar about this in her quarters, and she explains that she's half human, so he will find his own way as well. She tells him that she didn't reveal Alexander's existence to him before because she knew Worf would have insisted on taking the oath of marriage with her. So that kind of suggests that maybe she did have him all along and just didn't want to reveal it because she knew that that would force Worf into wanting to take her, and she wanted him to choose her naturally. I'm guessing.
Maybe. I mean, it does imply online that she was conceived when she came on the ship previously.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Okay, what am I doing? Here we go. Worf's always wanted to marry Kayla, but cannot acknowledge that Alexander is his son, without conferring his dishonour onto Alexander and possibly Alexander's children, should he ever have any. Kayla expresses disbelief that Worf would agree to illicitly accept this dishonour so easily after challenging the accusation originally. She pressed him, but Riker calls them from the bridge. Question number 3. You ready for another question?
Yes.
Kempek was poisoned by what poison? Was it Retinax 5, Viridium 6, Voraxna, or Ketracel White? Should be quite an easy question, that one. Kempek was poisoned by what poison? Retinax 5, Viridium 6, Voraxna, or Ketracel White? So there you go. Whilst you're answering that one, I will press on. Duros and Gowron arrive in their birds of prey, which once again now look massive for some reason. The consistency with bird of prey size fluctuating all over the place. Duros contacts the Enterprise and scorns Kempek's choice of Picard as Arbiter. There he is on the bridge, or on the view screen rather. I chose this picture because I noticed it, I always like to spot these, how they like move the front stations around. So, because they wanted this door in shot here, because Worf's going to come through it any minute now, they pulled these stations over to the left as much as possible. So you can see Data is like at the bottom of the ramp. And
his hair looks so brown.
And Wesley is actually in the middle of the room. So if you looked at this square on, they'd be like over to the left-hand side of the bridge. But it's just, they're always moving them around depending on what shot they want,
It's funny.
Yeah.
Data.
Yeah, we can't see him, can we? We just see the back of his head. Yeah.
But yeah, the lighting on that's really weird. His hair is really brown. He usually has darker hair because I'm crazy like that.
I wonder if it's actually Data. Sometimes when it's like a back of a head shot like this, it could be like a stand-in, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't find much in my searching. It does say that he was conceived while they were there with that sleeper ship, where she came on board to diffuse the tension with that sleeper ship. But that was episode 20 of season 2.
Season 2.
So this is a year and a bit later, and presumably she had to be pregnant for a large part of that, and so he must be like less than 1. So I'm guessing maybe accelerated Klingon growth or just poor continuity, whichever you want to go for.
Whichever one you want to go with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe that doesn't really make any sense, does it?
Like I said.
Yeah, you should be asking more questions.
Yeah.
But having said that, I remember Monty Brown, you sort of saying to me years ago that you can tell. In fact, it's in a different episode, spoiler, but where there's another version of Alexander, and you instantly recognized him because Alexander's head ridges are similar to Worf's, because it's almost like a familial characteristic and a genetic trait, and his head ridges are very similar to Worf's. So that does indicate that maybe Worf doesn't have anything to worry about, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'll do a bit more digging and see if I can find out by next week.
You can see Worf's ridges even in this Alexander. You can tell he's got Worf's ridges, but you never know. You never know.
You can get a lot of work done.
I mean, maybe Worf should be asking his brother what he's been up to.
I'd say Worf's brother's got Worf's ridges as well, so it's a family thing. Okay.
Ambassador she would be. Keeping the empire together.
Yep. With her vials. Okay, so Picard, who knows full well what Duros is capable of, is in no mood to be polite. He brusquely announces that the Sonchi ceremony will take place on Kembek's vessel in 1 hour. Duros bristles at the appearance of Worf on the bridge through that door and warns Picard to keep Worf far away from the proceedings. Privately in his ready room, Picard sympathizes with Worf in his discomfort. With Duros, Worf says that Duros must not lead the council. He is a traitor for what his father did at Khitomer. Picard, though, has human sensibilities about this and says he cannot blame the child for the father's treason. Duros' crimes has to lay the blame of Worf's father. He accepted that. He accepted the consequences. However, Picard reveals to Worf that Kempek asked Picard to investigate who killed him with poison. Worf knows little about Gowron. He's a relative outsider in the political affairs, but he knows Duras well, and his heart is not Klingon. There we go. There they are. I meant to say about Kempek's quarters as well. They did look like that room. They just grabbed every Klingon prop they could think of and just scattergunned it around the room, you know, like the chairs from the bridge here, the drapes from the council chambers and in Kronos, the you know. I don't know.
Seeing like a YouTube video guy who comes in and does the interior design. Look, we're just going to put Klingon things everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
That's your here. Now a word from our sponsors.
You shiny blades.
Yeah. Blade.
Brilliant.
Perfect. Yeah.
I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on chat, but Sean accused them of being worse than Ross and Rachel, and Smiley said, "We're on a break." Mickey wonders how much a Klingon divorce costs.
Wow.
There's some answers to questions. What else we got? Yeah. Is anybody else going to come on live, by the way? Sean, do you fancy
Sean,
it? Mickey? Mickey's been live on the show before.
Karen, Mickey, Sean.
Let me be the only one interrupting people.
No.
We want to make it a party, people.
Come on. Well, you know.
Oh yeah, Sean's saying about Grilka. That's her name. The only divorce you see in Star Trek. But you see a different marriage to the one that Dax and Worf had. So yeah, you can just shout a proclamation to be instantly married.
Yeah, it's
easily done.
Easily, yeah.
And instantly divorced. All she had to do was say something to him and slap him in the face or something, and divorce.
I think yeah. I know in their way of firing someone is just basically killing them, isn't it? So I imagine divorce is probably similar. Yeah.
Sean says, I love how Robert O'Reilly, even out of makeup, looks just like Gowron, just from his eyes. Yeah. And it is true. And he does one of his classic, I can't remember exactly what the line, but he does one of his classic eye glare lines in this when they're sort of on the Enterprise. And I'm just like, yay, classic Gowron.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Love him. I don't know why he does a kind of a pseudo-French accent, because he's an American dude, but it works. What can I say? It works.
He just put the makeup on and it just ignited something in him that just went, Gowron sounds like this. Okay.
He's brilliant.
Why are you doing a French accent? I don't know. Okay. Just do what you're doing.
So funny.
So we're at the Sonchis. Sorry, go on, Tawana.
Sorry. I was just saying, I love how memes has revived the awesomeness of his eyes. It's just endless on Facebook.
It's great. So at the Sonchi ceremony on Kempek's ship, Gowron and Duros arrive with their aides. Picard, followed by each of the challengers, stand before Kempek's body and say, Kwabji Nigil, face me if you dare. And they jab the corpse with a pain stick. The same pain sticks we saw last week. As we said recently.
We did, yeah.
The pain sticks are back 2 weeks in a row. For the pain sticks. While Picard does so with solemn respect, Gowron goes through the motions with due process. Duras seems to relish his turn by sticking it in and turning it and jabbing it.
So childish.
Yeah. Finally, Kalar steps in front of the corpse and says, Sonchi, he is dead. They had to be sure. Anyone stood about. Duras urges Picard to complete the rite of succession right here, right now. Since there are only 2 challengers, but Picard insists he will proceed according to Klingon law. Oh, we got 333 subscribers. Thank you, Smiler. It's good news. Gowron questioned Picard's qualifications, being human. He says it like
Ferengi.
Like a Ferengi. He does. He goes, you human. And they argue about it, and as they argue, a bomb explodes. Kaboom.
Oh, I have to make a note for later, because now that you mentioned that.
Tampax. With the max. What?
Tamp it to the max with Tampax. We've got
Okay.
like a Tampax advert in chat.
Tampax advert in chat. That's new.
Boost your view account, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So there, that was the end of Act 2. So, going back to the question.
Kaz, you've been live before, Kaz. Why don't you jump on?
Everybody's really quiet about jumping on.
Come on, Kaz!
They're like, no.
I thought we were going to have 6 people on.
Yeah, I thought we were just going to be talking over each other and nothing was going to get done.
Yeah, that's where I thought it was going to go. But no, all right. Going back to the question.
It is.
Nope, go on.
What?
I was saying it is really hot, so people might not be in clothing. I'm so hot right now, I'm trying to stop myself from taking off my shirt.
Well, Stuplum, to be fair, we can only see you from the neck up, but Stuplum said he wouldn't come on because he's wearing his beer onesie. And I was like, are you kidding me? Everybody would love it.
You gotta love a
To
beer
be funny,
onesie.
what's crazy is my husband's a trucker and he's in the Capitol right now, and I was dying. I was like, sweetie, I'm going live. You got to go to the store and see if they have Star Trek uniforms. I don't have any Star Trek shirts. I might be live. So that was the panicking of an entire week. And he's like, and then I looked online. I was like, they got nothing.
We would not force a guest star into uniform.
No.
It is appropriate.
Right.
Very funny.
Question 3 was Kempak's poison. What is his poison? Hopefully everybody said Viridium 6.
They did indeed.
Yep. Can anybody tell me what Red Nax 5 is?
Sorry, Karen says she's had a glass of rosé and she's in her PJs. Mickey says, yeah, as Tabby says, I'm naked. That wouldn't be a problem, Mickey. You can come on, it's only neck up. It's not an issue.
That's a whole different kind of stream.
Yeah, I was like, this is OnlyFans Star Trek live event. The subscribers are going to go up way beyond 333.
Well, as long as it's like Mickey and not me, because I'll certainly lose a subscriber at a time. Nobody wants to see that.
From 333 to 222 to 111. I love Tavi, how your husband's a trucker and you're a trekker. That's great.
Yes.
Does he also like Star Trek, or are you completely alone in that?
He does. We are complete.
Yay.
So Star Trek, Stargate, Star Wars.
He gives me beard envy.
Yes.
Mm.
I love his beard. He's from Iceland. Cool. He's a true Viking. So
he's got a proper Icelandic beard, that's down there.
Amazing. Iceland's beautiful. I went there last year on a holiday. Really, really lovely. Loved it.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Just mostly around Reykjavik, but we went sort of snowmobiling and all that kind of stuff. It was awesome.
So no penis museum.
Oh yeah, that's where we went on the first day. Yeah, the first afternoon.
First day.
Of course. Why wouldn't you?
Brilliant. Do you know what? Anybody can tell me what Red Nax 5 is? No.
Red Nax 5.
No. Don't know.
I know what Ketracel White is.
Ketracel White. You know that one. So what's that one then?
That's what the Jem'Hadar have. But
that's Dominion Crack.
Yeah. Red and X5.
Red and X5. That's what McCoy subscribes Kirk. Red and X5 for his eyesight, but he's allergic to Red and X5, so he buys him glasses in Star Trek 2.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Oh, Sean you can't
says
get on.
Invite invalid. What? You can't click the link?
Really? Oh.
You have to take off some more clothing.
We'll try and repost. The link. You don't need anything specifically sort of downloaded or anything, do you, Monty Man? It should just open in a browser.
Yeah, should just work. I don't know.
So I've removed my hoodie and I raise you.
And Sean says it's such a shame they forgot about laser eye surgery in the next 300 years.
I know, it is. It's a damn shame. Yeah. Okay, so that was Act 2. We're getting through this.
Slowly,
we're getting there. Kayla reports to Worf on the explosion and realizes Worf is genuinely concerned about her welfare. Worf claims it is just his duty, but Kayla remembers Worf saying he'll never be complete without her. Now she realizes that the feeling is mutual. She feels the same way about him. Oh, there you go. He takes her face in his hands and mutters, "Jidok, my blood." Kayla replies with, "Majdok, our blood." And this is the beginning of the marriage oath. Crikey O'Reilly. However, Worf stops, saying he does not wish either Kayla or Alexander to suffer his humiliation. Yeah, that again. Kayla suggests that Worf be Alexander's friend, if not his father. And Worf smiles and nods. They're going to be friends. As they're still studying remains of the men that were killed, Picard needs a way to stretch out proceedings. Kayla suggests the Jachuk, an oath ceremonial recitation of honours and accomplishments, which can take hours, if not days. Before she leaves, Kayla asks Picard about Worf's discommendation out of personal interest, and Picard says curtly he cannot discuss it. In the observation lounge. No, he's not for gossiping. We're in the observation lounge here. Duras is impatient to get to set a new council leader, preferably himself, so he can kill Gowron. While Gowron, in more typical Klingon fashion, tells Duras he will die slowly. That was his moment, wasn't it? When he turns and goes,
he did the Gowron eyes.
You will die. Yeah. Duras suggests Gowron maybe plant another bomb, which causes Gowron to explode, but Picard silences them with a sharp mev yep, i.e. enough. I'm going to add all these Klingon words to our personal dictionary.
Hey. What did Sochi mean?
Sochi.
That was the name of the ceremony. Yeah, and that's what Kayla said at the end after they had established that Kempek was dead.
That is he is dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was the he is dead ceremony.
Sonchi, he is dead ceremony. Yeah.
Oh,
here's Sean.
Hey. Hi, Sean. Nice to meet you.
And
he's got a Star Trek tab
is that a hoodie?
That's very cool.
Yeah, Alibaba's
like
It's not. It doesn't look as good in real life, but yeah, for €20 you can't complain too much.
It works on stream. Stream.
Yeah, I realise that now. Yeah, it's much better on screen, thankfully.
And that's a lower decks. There's a lower decks hoodie. Yeah, very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
I've never seen one of those before. That's very cool.
No, I've got a TNG like one like this. Yeah. It's really cool. I like it. I've completely forgotten where I was. Where were we? We're in the observation lounge.
Is it the bit with the ceremony where they talk about all the achievements?
Oh yes, that's it. Yep. Yes. they're a bit annoyed because they want to get on with it, but he tells them that he wants to observe ancient tradition. And that takes us to question number 4. In the observation lounge, now, I think this is it's one of the simplest questions, but I think it's one of the hardest. I would have got this wrong. I had to look it up. I had to look it up. It's a simple question, but could take out a couple of people. Right, the observation lounge have some of the largest windows on the Enterprise. But how many windows are in that room? How many windows does the observation lounge have?
Oof.
Is it A4, B5, C6, or D7? 4, 5, 6, or 7?
Complete guessing job for this one.
Oh, Sean's right in there. He knows straight away. Yeah.
I should have waited till Sean answered, right? Mickey says, look at them eyeballs. His face would make a good Halloween mask. That's a good point.
Yeah, look at them.
Everybody else is answering C. I think I pulled the gun too early on A. Never mind.
Well, I figured it wouldn't be an odd number. But actually, I did say it in the chat, but I'll say it again. Technically speaking, there's no windows because none of them have any glass in them.
Oh, well, yeah, no glass windows. No. But they are transparent aluminum. Transparent aluminum windows.
As invented by Scotty when he goes back in time.
Except for when they crash in generations, in which case they actually explode like regular glass.
Mm.
They can survive attacks of the Borg. They can survive fights with various different Romulans and Klingons and everything else. But landing on a planet, coming to a slow stop, and then
smash.
Shattered everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just so much more spectacular that way.
Also, yeah, if you ever watch Junk Ball, I highly recommend it. It points out things like that.
Very cool.
And was it you who said earlier about the was it Trek Yard or something?
Trek Yards, yeah.
Yeah, was that in response to what Tavi was asking about?
That's with ships. They actually contact people that work on the shows, get the 3D models that they use to film the shows, and then they scan them and check them from different angles to see all the.
Oh wow. Very cool.
Really, really good. A lot of detail in those things.
I mean, if you've got that with like a really detailed view of the outside, and then you combine that with Monty Bahn's blueprints of how they're all laid out on the inside, that's everything you need to know as a writer, right? Nice.
I'm going to check that out. Trek Yards, yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So I want to go to a amount of detail about how many. There was a great episode they did. Do you remember in Discovery where they had that TARDIS-like turbolift shafts? Do you remember there was whole stadiums inside it where there was no space?
Yeah. It was like
trying to scale the Discovery in such a way that the inside would fit into the outside. The outside would fit around the inside, and how ridiculous it was. Fantastic.
Brilliant.
Maz won't know, but they shown a scene where they were showing the turbo lift flying through the Discovery, and it was like it was flying over a city or something. There was just this cavernous space.
It was the size of Wembley Stadium.
That's
it was just
mad.
And they just go, no, that doesn't exist. It's not there.
It's just basically in Jeffrey's tubes or something, just going through. It's that's ridiculous.
Well, they might have one or two interchanges, but there's a bit more space where they can pass each other. But little space, little pod here and there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like the ship.
But they
was
would
just
be
cavernous.
tight, right? You're going to be as efficient with space as possible on something like a
well, even in the future, modern day submarines are ridiculous. If you take them as an example, you get asleep and someone will poke you to wake up. If you sleep 5 minutes over your time, you're kicked out to the next person. You call it warm bunking. There's no messing about it. You even sleep in 3 shifts. You get 7 hours and 40 minutes sleep, and then you get up. That's it.
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Wouldn't catch me on one of them things.
Not for long.
Right, I'm going to move on. I've got to move on.
Yep. Keep going, Monty.
Keep going.
How's the show?
No, I like the chat.
It's good.
Okay, Alexander is visiting Worf, who introduced him to the proper way to hold a traditional batleth. This is the first time I've ever seen a batleth in Star Trek. So this is the introduction of batleths. Very exciting.
Love that. And also the visual effects guy, Dan Curry, who designed it along with Michael Dorn, and they practiced stuff. And he's actually the guy who designed it as a martial arts expert as well. So they had like a, that view with it as to how that would be kind of used like a nunchuck or like, extension of the body, fluid movements, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah. And apparently Michael Dorn had been asking for a while for like a signature weapon of some kind, so they thought this was a good opportunity for it. Later on, obviously, it becomes, the case that it's actually a common weapon used by everybody rather than necessarily being Worf's signature weapon. And although we haven't seen it yet, the sword that Duras uses later never gets used again, whereas obviously the batleth becomes a permanent feature.
Yeah, Mickey. Having heard your accent,
I want one.
Having heard your
one so bad.
Having heard your accent, Mickey, Sean, Mickey thinks you probably must live just down the road from him.
Where's Mickey live?
I don't know. You have to, well, maybe not your exact address.
No,
Mickey. Just give us a rough whereabouts.
Yeah,
general town or yeah.
Right. Worf's particular batleth's been in the Moog family for 10 generations.
Sorry, someone asked, do Mickey and Sean know each other? Not yet, but I'm sure we'll figure it out later.
Could be related. You never know.
I was walking down Stephen's Green one day, and there was Colin Meaney just walking straight past me. Oh, hi, Colin.
Oh my God! Really? Oh.
Yeah, I was too polite to say anything. I let him go. It was Christmas. I could have asked him for a photo. We would have been nice about it. I was like, no.
That's so cool. I have heard he's totally lovely if you approach him.
My brother, did you just see? Anyway, sorry, go
on. Tyrone is the answer.
What is that, a town, is it?
It must be.
Oh, he's in Tyrone. Oh, that's the way the far side of the country.
There
cool.
You go. Not just outside.
I move around a lot, so I don't have a very specific accent, but I live in Tipperary. But Tyrone is, given that it's a small country, it's probably as far away as you could drive. Yeah, so I think I'd have to pass through 6 counties to get to Tyrone.
Well, it is a long way.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
To Tipperary.
Smiler thinks what you actually did was run home, put on your Star Trek top, and then go back out and hunt down Colm.
Well, I'm actually from Waterford, but I live in Tipperary. And lived in Dublin for 10 years, lived abroad twice, once in Belgium, once in Germany. So my accent is very, very mixed up.
You still sound Irish to me, but then I don't have a very tuned ear.
I don't sound like I'm from anywhere in particular.
Yeah, it's a beautiful Irish
Nor do I,
accent.
to be fair. I don't have a typically Plymouthian accent either.
Right, cool. I would a bit more like this, be a bit stronger, a bit more droll, a bit more bass in the voice.
Yeah.
And I should be talking about my cider.
Anyway, Worf showing Alexander all about his batleth, and he's like, saying you just don't hold it; it becomes part of you. And he does some really cool moves, shows you what a batleth can do. It's pretty cool.
Also, among his collection is a Ligonian Glavin.
Yeah, there is the Glavin. Yeah, the Glavin is there as well.
That's the same weapon that Tasha Yar used when
we can't see it
in
in
the
that
fight
photo.
of Code of Honor.
Yeah, we don't see it in that
photo. The best episode of Star Trek, hands down.
We've got a picture of Glavin.
Worse, did you say? Oh, it's just terrible.
There
Absolutely
it is.
Absolutely terrible.
On the table there.
There it is. Yeah.
Poison off it, that it's not just going to kill him.
It's weird because he's just letting I
will agree though that makes canonical sense for it to be there. It's not like the Varan T Disruptor. They go, there's only 3 in the world, and you see it 15 times. She won a battle using that, did she win it or did she die on purpose? But she was in a battle with it, and he keeps it maybe to honor her because she was his mentor or whatever. So it makes sense there, as opposed to just a random prop being thrown in for the crack.
As a father, though, I was getting sort of second-hand anxiety as Alexander was playing around the Galvin there, because it's supposed to be deadly poisonous. Yeah. It's like, don't touch that. But, yeah.
Class.
Anyway, there it is on the table with all his other little weapons. Later, Kalar is approached privately by Gowron. Oh, we're on that picture. Yeah, there we go.
Actually, that particular set that you're just on, the Worf's quarters, is the same set where they have the discussion about the Retinox 6. It's actually in front of that wall. Like that's Kirk's quarters in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Just to the left of it, there's a window in the show, and they obviously close off the window to make it a quarters, but it's also Data's quarters.
Yeah,
it's really you can tell by the circular wall with the ridges.
You can. It didn't have the ridges in it.
But it did have the circle, and it was tiled, and there was some triangular things on it.
Pictures here of it anywhere?
I can tell by the curve of the wall that it's the same piece.
I don't.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, it had like these like boxes on the wall in Star Trek 2.
These kind of diamond, triangular 80s mirrors and glass things.
Yeah, I am going to find it now. I'm going to hang on.
He's a man on a mission.
Kirk's quarters.
Motion picture, because it was actually the motion picture originally.
Oh, motion picture, yes.
So.
Also, the bed he has in the middle of the room, which is later the medical bed. Just like imagine that's the bed in your quarters. It's just dead center of the room, just a single bed.
Yeah.
No pillow, no blanket, just a random bed in the middle of the room, dead center. Like. Could you imagine sleeping? Yeah, I don't think so.
You can see the curved wall here. Here it is in Star Trek 2.
There it is.
But there's these like box things on the wall. I don't know what. There's some sort of storage. Yeah. But you can see the slats at the top here, and then you can see the slats here. Look. So it's the same. It is the same set.
Very cool.
Yeah. So later, Gowron approaches Kayla and asks her if she can speed up the Jajuk. He offers her a command of her own or maybe a seat on the council, mentions these opportunities may show themselves if he himself selected. She says he talks like a Ferengi, which annoys Gowron. He doesn't like that at all. But he does a number of times sound like a Ferengi in this episode. So.
He later goes on to say, women cannot serve on the council, it's forbidden.
Yeah, I mean, they did that later on in that episode.
Which I'm not sure if that was filmed before or after this. It's probably before this as well, so I don't know where they came out with that from.
Yeah, well, they said they did that in the one with House of Quark as kind of a plot device, and also trying to make Klingons a little bit less human-like in terms of, some of their, being a patriarchal society and that sort of thing. Although they said they still tried to make sort of Klingon men and women be quite, as equally respected in combat and that sort of thing, but that there were still some patriarchal traditions within their government. But yeah, clearly that was a thought that came along later than this.
It's also the way he's like, there could be opportunities for you. It's like, you do sound like
human, half human.
You're half human.
It kind of mirrors the conversation that Nurse and Bator have at Worf in Generations as well. Although he never thought he'd fall for it, he'd go for it at all. Given the amount of
wheeling and dealing.
They offer him a cheap deal, and it's like, he was never going to go for that. It's kind of a similar scene in many respects.
He alludes then to don't make the same mistake that Kempek made, making it sound like Gowron was actually behind the poisoning. But Kayla's like, Kempek was old and weak, and I am not. Gowron then smiles, laughs at her, and leaves the room. But he's quite menacing in that scene. Here we are in engineering. Just a quick note. You can see the schematic for the underground base in the center of the pool table there. That was from the last episode. From the last episode, Legacy. They didn't change the screen in the pool table. Yeah. It's like that pyramid sort of schematic of the underground base.
Nice. Well spotted. Data's on screen. Tavi's all excited.
Tav. I think it's actually
just a better view of him this time.
The way that's framed is kind of weird. It's like Geordi's sitting where you never see anyone sitting. Riker's leaning because they always lean, and then Data's standing. I don't know, it's because Geordie's a bit shorter. If they all stood, it would look weird or something. But it's
I didn't even notice he was sitting. That is a bit odd. Where do they store that seat? Does it pull out?
Well, the seat's over on the left, or stage left, where the consoles are.
I think they're over here, the stools.
Oh, right. But he just pulled it up, his legs were feeling achy, maybe.
Never seen it before nor since. It's just the only time he sees someone pull up a chair to the pool table.
Nice.
Did Geordie have an operation recently, which meant he wasn't
in
an
an
episode?
He did, at the very beginning of this series, in Best of Both Worlds, episode 2, he wasn't sort of really featured much. They used a little bit of stock footage, and then he wasn't at all in the next episode, or at least the next episode that was filmed, which is actually shown third. But, I mean, this is there's quite a few episodes later, right?
That would be the explanation if he had a surgery. That might go away.
Yeah, just maybe he had some difficulties with it or something. Can he just say, you can sit down? I don't know.
It can take 4 or 5 hours to film a 3-minute scene sometimes. So
that's a good point. Maybe they got part of the way through and he needed to sit. Yeah, it's a good point.
They film it one way and then they have to move the lighting to the left so they can take the camera straight, the close up on Riker, and then the third way and do it on. So it can take 3 hours just to do a 5-minute scene.
There he is. There he is. Really. See?
Thank you, Montalban. Jesus. This episode is so deficient in data, it was painful. Like, I really did not want to watch this episode again. I'm like,
I've brought him to you there.
There you go.
Thank you.
So they're forensically analysing the bomb and found that whilst the explosive was a common substance, it used a molecular decay detonator, a device only used by Romulans. And that's the end of Act 3.
It's a thermal detonator! Sorry.
Who wants the answer to the question?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember we had a question a while ago?
I don't know.
Wait,
I forgot all about it.
Is this about the windows?
The windows.
Yes, it was about the windows.
Okay.
It wasn't 4. It wasn't 5. It wasn't 6.
It's 7. Okay.
It's 7. D.
Oh my wordy word! Well, that means.
Then I figured it wouldn't be an odd number, but okay. So an odd number probably means you can center it better because there's one in the middle. Maybe
there's one in the middle. Yeah.
By my reckoning. Well, that's interesting. I was about to say, by my reckoning, only one person got that right, but G-Star came in with a late answer, so 2 people got that right, which was actually Stuplum and G-Star.
Well done,
so
G-Star.
Stuplum now catapults into the lead, being that nobody else got that right, with 200 points. And G-Star makes up considerable ground, now up to 100 points. Most other people are on 120.
It's funny because I would have said 6 myself. And I thought that was going to be a really easy question. But I had to go look it up. Because, we see the Enterprise. We look at those set of windows at the beginning, the intro of every episode. It flies past and you see like a cleaner in there doing something. But it is 7. It's 7.
Stuplum said it was a guess, complete guess.
The exact same way every single episode. Very, very efficient. Always does it exactly the same way.
Every day does exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other?
My default is C all the time when I don't know something.
Oh yeah.
It's
Plus,
good.
everybody else answered that. I thought that was a sure bet. That's what everybody was saying.
My default answer is usually 47, but it didn't make sense in this context.
Well, G-Star says that 7 is his lucky number. He also says he thinks you and him would make a good pair, Tavi, because he also fancies Data. Or at least that's what I was getting. There's the subtext.
Yes. If he does, then
listen to Old Yellow Eyes by any chance.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know if you heard that the other week, G-Star, but sort of Brent Spiner's got a couple of albums out, including Old Yellow Eyes, so you have to look that up.
He did a joke but Frank Sinatra was Old Blue Eyes, so he called himself Old Yellow Eyes.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I meant to look that up actually this week. I can't believe I forgot.
I know he sings.
That's impressive. Sorry.
I know he sings in it's not Nemesis, the other one, the last one. It's gone for me. The one on the Ageless Planet, the last TNG.
Something.
I'm gonna have to.
Well, he sings Blue Skies and that, and obviously they bring it back in Picard. He gets to sing it again. But
that was Insurrection, wasn't it?
Insurrection. Thank you. The
That's
name
the
just
one.
But yeah, so
I'm thinking Resurrection. I'm like, it's definitely not Resurrection.
you can in fact say it's not just.
Yeah,
It's not
G-Star said Resurrection. No, Insurrection. Yeah.
Favorite. If you listen to that one, oh Yellow Eyes is back. Tootsie is I think one of the more impressive songs, because usually he has a really soft voice, so you can't tell if he's got like really good octave range or strength in his voice. But when he sang that one, I'm like, oh man, that takes like
He
vocal
can sing, right?
constitution to do it.
Wow.
When I heard the original, I'm like, whoo.
Yeah, well, he's probably in that baritone range, which is great until you hit a high note you think you can, and then you can't. I'm similar. I can go all the way into the bass, folks, and then I can hit quite a lot of high notes, but you pick one too high and you
Yeah, it exposes you. But Dreamland is delicious.
For no, it's not there, and you're like, no, it's like being a teenager again.
And Dreamland is the second album, is it?
Yeah, Dreamland.
Here we go.
That one's on
Yellow
Spotify. It's got all the sexy tracks on it, or the way you wish he would speak.
He's got good vibrato.
In your ear. Yeah.
Sorry, you can't hear it. You'd have to be on.
I'll have to mute myself and I'll turn it.
Right. Well, I have to stop it before I get copyright strikes.
Fair enough.
There we go.
Don't do that.
Okay. I'll listen to it another time.
He's got very good controlled vibrato, I have to say.
Nice.
He does.
I
want to go on that cruise that they have, the Star Trek cruise, because he performs a lot on that.
Well, if you book a tickets, let us know. We'll come.
Called the Dadmore, an English guy, and he seems to spend most of his time either building Trek Lego or going on cruises. But if you want to find out what's going on in those cruises, just follow him. You'll get so many photos, you'll feel like you're there.
Okay.
And if you go, Tavi, let us know, because we'll go too. We'll all
If
go.
I go, you'll have to make sure I don't get arrested or something.
I got arrested for feeling up Brent's spina. I mean, there's worse ways to go, right?
No shame. He is still sexy. I saw Fresh Hell, and he does this scene where he drops his pants. That man still has the same beautiful legs as he did in the show Thine Own Self or something, the episode where he lost his memory on the planet.
Brilliant. And he's 73 now, right?
They more or less rip off Wholesale for Nemesis or for Insurrection. Sorry.
Smiler Rainbow says she wants to hear Sean say the Pogo lyrics.
Do it, Sean. Your accent is fabulous.
You can only type it. You can't perform it live.
You started having post to the song. Toast, damn it. I didn't even get that right.
Nice. And Smiler Rainbow says she'll come on the cruise Tavikins. I can cause a distraction. We turn.
He's a really cutie now. He's got this cute baby face for older guy. He gets some more beard. I'm gonna be into it.
He's funny as well. I like him.
I love beards.
Sean's like, I feel facially inadequate.
Getting some trees.
Either.
I'm surprised you don't have a thing for Riker then as well. He's the bearded
Riker's
one.
Just everyone's delicious side piece of meat, but everyone's main meat is either Picard or Data. It needs to be Data, but Picard is honorary. Be like, you're the captain, so you can get some of that too. But everyone needs to focus on Data because he can go.
I always liked Worf.
Yeah, that's actually a fair point. Yeah.
Worf?
Yeah, when I was younger, I had a real crush on Worf, didn't I? Monty?
It's true. It's true.
Oh my goodness.
It's true.
Maybe not
G-Star has a beard.
An adult, but definitely when I was younger. Oh yeah, G-Star does have a beard. That is true.
It is true.
Yeah, I can just.
Hey G-Star, why don't you jump on? Why don't you jump on the stream for a bit?
He has an attempt
nice
at a beard anyway. There's a general attempt.
And pro beard stuff doesn't look good.
Well, I mean, now that we understand Klingon anatomy, you might want to go easy on that Worf crush. Be like,
yeah, like I say, it was a younger crush. It was a younger me crush. Not so much crushing in that direction anymore. He's a little bit too traditional. A little bit, not quite the forward-thinking modern man I'd be after.
No.
But there's always that kink of turning a guy from the cloth. I'm the bad one. I'm going to shut up now.
To be fair, Dax does that really quite well.
She does. She does.
She does.
I don't know.
She's like, I'm having none of that Klingon crap.
She definitely tries.
Like 50 Worfs. Do you remember when they kept duplicating him in the 6th or 7th season? He comes back from the tournament and there's, all the Enterprise, like 1,000 Enterprises all together.
Yeah. So he passes through different realities, doesn't he?
Mm.
One minute the cake was chocolate and then it was yellow. I'm like, what is
then
yellow?
He has, like,
That's
these
not
long locks of hair.
Oh, yeah.
It was Worf the Regent and he kept Garak on the chain. That was the whole thing.
That was hilarious. Mickey's laughing at your phrase of turning him from the cloth.
Yeah. So Act 4.
Go on, Monty. Come on. March on.
Oh dear, I don't know.
Come on, talk quickly.
I'll try. Oh no, where am I? What am I doing?
Get on with it.
We're in the conference room. We're in the observation lounge here. K'Ehleyr and Worf suggest that the bomb could only be planted with the help of one of the Klingons. At this point, both challengers are suspects. K'Ehleyr mentions Gowron's suspicious conversation with her earlier, but Worf continues to insist that Duros must be their man. Surprised, K'Ehleyr asks for an explanation. Why do you say this? Picard says that, put it this way, past experience has revealed Duros to be untrustworthy. But that's all he will say, to her annoyance. At Picard's request, Worf reluctantly will attend the next meeting with the two candidates. Picard hopes his presence will be a disruptive influence.
Can I just say I hate that shot?
You
can see the standard caster wheels of, modern office chairs. It's like, I don't know, they should have power with blue lights or something. It's like, those are just office chairs.
Yeah.
You normally can't see the legs, but not when you can.
And trust me, there are 2 more windows off.
Yeah.
There are 4 lights. No, there are 5.
There are 5 windows. No.
Data. There's data in
there. Data's still
scene.
here, so you're all good.
It makes up for the chair, Sean.
Yeah. Where are we with it? Oh, were we here? Were we there? Yes, we were there.
See, you shouldn't be tempting G-Star with coming on naked because he is a naturist,
Yeah, don't. Let's not. Don't tempt him.
Well, he shouldn't be standing in front of the webcam. Just sit.
Okay, so sorry, I've had to get rid of Data because we're with K'Ehleyr and she's beginning to. She wants to know what's going on with Worf and his discommendations, so she starts research on her own in her quarters, and looks into the Enterprise's last mission to Kronos, which is when it happened. Gowron announces the conclusion of his part of the Jajuk with a hearty.
Sorry, that shot. Can you see the top of the set in that shot, or am I just imagining it?
No, you can.
Yeah,
you can. Yeah, it's
and the dreaded officers again. Who shot this?
You can see the sort of mess at the top of the set and some wires and bits of set. Yeah, not ideal.
I thought that was like some artistic motif or something.
You think they would have usually when they got things like that, when it comes to Blu-ray, they resize the shot just to take those bits out. But for whatever reason, with this shot, they didn't. They left it in.
You could just meshed it or something, just kind of painted it flat. It wouldn't exactly be a lot of work for effects artists to do that. It's bad. I also don't know why Picard's in a different chair to everyone else, but anyway.
No, he's in like a grey chair, isn't he?
Because he's the captain.
Yeah,
but they only have whatever it is, 6, 7, 8 of those pink chairs, and they managed to take away 4 of them and then bring in that grey chair from somewhere. So that's strange.
Pretty special.
Yep. So Gowron there ends his bit with a hearty "Jik Dok Bata." I always thought he said he was saying a battle, like naming a battle.
Yeah, me too.
But he's not. In Klingon, he's saying that I claim the honor. That's what he's saying. Yeah. He bows to...
I think Batlet translates to honors to order or something like that. The Bat part must be honor. Not that I studied Klingon, but I get just that. I noticed that commonality now that you mentioned it.
Very cool.
Yeah. He bows to Picard, and Picard calls a recess while petitions are both being reviewed. Gowron accepts this and goes to stand up, perhaps to return to his ship, but Picard wants to discuss the findings of the bomb investigation. He brings in Worf, who reveals the Enterprise's results. As expected, the presence rattles both Duros and Gowron. Duros refuses to proceed, and Picard's like, well, you can withdraw anytime you want. That is your right. And that shuts Duras up. Worf reads their findings. Gowron replies politely to Worf's inquiries, but Duras attempts to dismiss the investigation prematurely. And at the mention of molecular decay detonators, the signature Romulan device, Duras jumps up and claims he needs to verify that himself. And Gowron says he will do the same, glaring at Duras. Picard has Worf transmit all the findings to the Klingon High Council. But question number 5. Worf is the son of Moog. But who is Duros the son of? Is Duros the son of B'Etor, B. Tural, C. Gerard, or D. Gorkon? Oh, hello. We have another visitor to our stream.
Who is visiting? Is it the G-Star?
It's Mickey!
It's Mickey! Oh, Mickey, you put some clothes on.
Hello.
Oh, boo. Boo hiss.
And we've got another visitor to the stream. G-Star!
G-Star!
Yeah! It was a party.
No.
How we doing?
No, it's a party.
You're going to have to repeat that last question because I missed it.
Okay.
Well, it's in chat.
I will repeat it. Worf is the son of Moog, but who is Duros the son of? Is it B'Etor, Tural, Gerard, or Gorkon? So, there you go.
I don't know.
I
haven't got any way of looking at YouTube.
Oh, you don't have your phone? Oh, you use your phone, the one on your camera. Maybe we will let you just answer it on the stream.
You can just answer it. Yeah.
G-Star, you have a
Take just 30 seconds for everyone to put their answers in first.
What was that? G-Star has a fabulous
microphone. Oh, that could have been.
Microphone.
And then someone comes in. The answer to.
Both in
Thank you
size
very
and
much. Thank you very much.
In the voice. Okay. Woo!
New Tabby crush.
She's very excited.
He should put on his yellow uniform and, sort of green out his face, and you'll be set.
Oh my! I'm gonna start getting dressed up and dolled up for these little live things.
So you're gonna be stalking both of them now, right?
Well, at least she's not calling you Robbie Downey Jr. So.
What? That's weird. What?
Some say.
Sometimes gets those references.
Yeah.
Ah, Smiler says we're losing the top of Monty. You must be so sort of pushed so far up the screen.
Oh.
Yeah, on my mobile. On my phone, it does show you're just losing the top of your head.
Oh.
But never mind. Let's truck on. Hi, nice to see you, Mickey.
That just won't do.
You've studied up this week, Mickey. The last few weeks, I think you've not really studied so much.
It didn't help. This past 2 weeks, it didn't help. But there's too many smart people now.
Okay, I'm from the United States, and there is a cliche, and it is so true. We are in love with all the accents from the UK, and my God, everyone just
Tabby's just too excited right now. She's just like, doesn't know what to do. It's like sensory overload.
And they're Trekkies.
Yeah.
And Smiler Rainbow's a teacher. I'm with all.
The biggest place for Trek people in Europe is Germany. They look crazy for it over there.
Are they really?
If even like you find a lot of people who like it and watch it, but you kind of have to go looking for them. But in Germany, it's really mainstream. Like, it's just, it's like watching the soaps. Everyone kind of gets it.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
I'm exaggerating slightly when I say watching the soaps, but it's a lot bigger than it is anywhere else in terms of people who know about it and follow it.
Really?
Do they do many conventions? We could combine conventions and beer or something.
To
Oktoberfest.
Destination Star Trek over there, so that's a big one. A lot of Germans learn English through Star Trek as well. They start watching it in German, and then they decide they're missing something in the context, so they start learning English.
How about Trektoberfest, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice. I know people in Germany. We could get set up real nice.
Hey, you got connections, babe. You got connections.
Yeah. Got connections all over the place.
I know somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
I know people everywhere.
I used to work at a call center in the northwest of Germany, and we'd have a night out, and there was different lines. So there was an English line. There was a Russian line, there was a Hebrew line, there was a French, Italian, Spanish. So there was different groups. We were all the one team and just doing support in our own languages. We'd have a night out for the department, and if say we were supposed to meet at 7 o'clock, the Germans would be there 15 minutes early. The Irish and the English, Scott Welsh would all be there 45 minutes late. And then the Spanish would be Spanish and Italians would be half an hour after that. It was so culturally ingrained, we just couldn't help ourselves. We all just acted that way.
I thought I should warn you guys that
Tavi's husband's
hubby
in
is
chat.
now in chat saying, does he need to worry because she's crushing on everybody in this show here?
I am. And I just responded, you should, sweetie. These guys got me weak in the knees. They're like, oh my.
Oh dear.
Bless.
Oh dearie me.
Very cool.
Okay.
Yay! You're here. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
You found your peeps.
He's watching me. I think he's watching the live chat on his phone while he's driving. Stopping every now and then he's probably getting a coffee. I hope you're getting a coffee.
He must be getting a coffee. Yeah, he must be pulled over somewhere.
For legal reasons, getting a coffee.
Oh my goodness, you guys are absolutely. I am crushing on these guys, sweetie. I'm so sorry, but
yeah.
Look at them.
Well, Smiler's saying that G-Star and Smiler also both love a Viking, so yeah, they'll probably crush on your hubby too.
It's true.
He's adorable. And all the tattoos. He's fabulous.
And the beard, I have to say, impresses me.
You need to put data on the screen, or I'm going to be sidetracked for the rest of the night.
I haven't got data, but I have got a.
Oh
yeah.
She's been looking sexy in this episode.
Yeah, good riches.
She is great. I mean, Susie Plax is just awesome.
Or so she played more than 2 roles. But do you remember any of her other roles?
Well, yeah, there was Solar and
Mrs. Q,
Lady Q.
Miss Q.
She's been in others, has she?
Miss Q.
Oh no, of course, and
that's what you called her, Miss Q.
Oh, what was she called?
Or whatever. The fake
in Enterprise. She was a what they called the blue people.
Andorian.
Oh,
yeah. Andorians.
She was an Andorian in Enterprise. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the one. Oh, forget her name. I forgot she was her. Yeah, I was thinking of female Q.
I've got it somewhere. Hang on.
She was a Vulcan.
Yeah.
It was Solar, Dr. Solar.
Yeah, sorry, did we say that one?
Yeah,
I missed that. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, where is it? Character. Oi, blah blah blah. No. Susie Plaxton. Tara was the name of the Andorian. Yeah. She's good though. We like her.
Yeah, and I did quite like Tavona. You called her Miss Q in your story because it just made me laugh because, like, you know, like in pool, like a miscue.
Well, like she's a mistake.
Yeah.
But that's how she's referred to in Memory Alpha, Miss Q.
Miss Q.
Because Janeway called her Miss Q, and I think it just stuck.
Just stuck. I see.
Cool.
Yeah.
In Pulp Fiction, there's a guy, and he's in the robbery, and he goes, he meant to say, I'm just a coffee shop manager, but he just goes, I'm just a coffee shop, and then he shoots the gun, he doesn't finish it, and in the credits, He's listed as coffee shop.
Coffee shop.
Sorry.
Yeah. I actually have a big Pulp Fiction poster next to me on the wall here because it's my favorite film.
Just in the credits, the guy's name, his name, and then it's like coffee shop.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Very cool.
Love those Easter eggs.
Okay, I'm continuing. So, Kayla's investigation's proceeding into ever more dangerous territory as she hacks into the Klingon Imperial network. And she's using her own information in the login, which is not a good idea. She doesn't even use a VPN. NordVPN. That's what I want.
Sponsors the stream.
I want a sponsor. Where's NordVPN, goddammit?
They don't know anyone who subscribes to them, but everywhere I go, they're always there. So someone must be paying.
Yeah, you'd think she'd have heard of it. Anyway, she hits a block in her search, but about the Kittimer massacre. It's restricted. The restriction's been put in place by Duras. So she scrutinizes Duras's record to try to find a clue. Oh, no, don't want it there. Go over there, you sunny thing.
Don't be subjectless to your bedroom talk.
Yep. One of Duras's aides shows Duras a message from Kronos about Kayla's attempts to get more information about him and his connections to Kittimer. So Duras slips out without the guards realizing and heads to Kayla's quarters. A brief heated discussion follows. Kayla has discovered that Duras framed Wolf's father Moog as the traitor at Kittimer, and for Kayla that is also enough to finger Duras as the latest member of his treacherous family, selling out his people to the Romulans. Dun 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 dun. And that's the end of Act 4. So back to the question. It's a good act. Back to the question. What is Duras the son of? Baitor, Toral, Gerard, or Gorkon? Did we get all the answers in chat? Did anybody not say their answer?
I did, but I am trying to behave, and I am just a raunchy person, and I didn't appreciate those last two options. You got the Gorkon out, and then you need that Durex to cover it up.
Smiler Rainbow's bringing in Chewy for Karen.
I know,
Gherkin.
Get the pickle out and then get a...
Beautiful Chupu.
Gorkon, yeah. Gerard.
It was Gorkon.
Gorkon, yeah, was the...
That was the answer. Oh, wow. I was really...
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't the answer. No.
Oh.
It's
Gorkon was Star Trek 6 Chancellor.
He was the Star Trek 6 Chancellor.
That was the same one you said earlier, right?
Yeah. Also in Star Trek 5 as the St. John guy. Anyway, sorry, go on.
It was C. Gerard.
Yay.
Duras, the son of Gerard.
Tanagra.
Gerard at Tanagra.
I think most people got that right, but I'll just run through and tally them all up while you continue.
Well, for these answers, Baitor was Duras's sister, so it definitely wouldn't be her. And Toral is also the father of Duras. There's a Duras, son of Toral, but it's not this Duras. It's actually
it's grandfather, or further back actually.
Great grandfather or something like that. Yeah.
Well, there's also Worf, son of Moog. Moog was presumably son of Worf because obviously there's Colonel Worf back in Star Trek 6 again.
Yeah.
But that's 100 years in the difference. So yeah, the earlier Duras couldn't be grandfather, it'd have to be older.
Yeah, like great grandfather, great grandfather. I don't know.
Klingon live to 130 or 140 if but they generally don't because they die in combat. But the Core and the Higher Masters, Core and the other two, whose names escapes me. They're obviously in the original series, and then they're in Deep Space Nine, which is technically speaking 120 years later.
Yes. Yeah, they must have been like 140, 150 at least.
Yeah, so they can live a while.
Yeah.
So assuming they don't die in battle, they can hang around.
Yeah, but they mature quick apparently because they get to like 5 years old in a year.
Well, they're not much today mature quick, but they're they turn into a 5-year-old in about 18 months. 18 months.
Stuplum gave a reminder to like the stream, by the way, everyone.
Oh,
if you haven't.
Thanks, Stuplum.
So...
Good point.
I did that about 5 hours ago.
Yeah. Was there any other trivia and bits of information for this act, Goof Girl?
Yeah, there's loads. But I would say that Stuplum is still in the lead, and then Mickey, Sean, Tavi, and me are in joint second place at the moment. Yeah, on the triv stuff, there was a few little bits and bobs. In terms of goofs, we referred to this a few episodes ago, actually, in Sins of the Father, but Duras flubs the Klingon word for animal, which is supposed to be hadiba, and he says habida, yes, which is exactly the same thing that was done in a previous episode. So clearly a common mistake amongst actors. There is a bit of a plot hole whereby the Klingons were being flanked by security guards the whole time, except for when Gowron went to have his little chat with Kayla, and all of a sudden there were no security guards anywhere. There was something to do with where Picard grabs that pain stick, like his hands are kind of really all funny when he grabs it, and then in the next scene they're all still quite funny, but in a completely different way than what he initially grabbed it. So just a bit of a continuity error. And then Kempek also played Cord in Star Trek V Final Frontier. I don't know if we mentioned that earlier. I don't think we did.
We mentioned it in Sins of the Father.
Ah, right.
But
okay,
no,
cool.
we didn't mention it in this one.
And I think that's about it for now.
I want to bring up possibly a little goof. When Garon's looking at the Klingon data stream, he's doing it on a Starfleet laptop. Which, like, if you went to Russia right now and you were in British intelligence, you use their computer,
Yeah.
or would you bring your own? You know, it's kind of going, nah, that doesn't look right.
That's true, but then they just sort of push up. Well, I mean, you might not want to for security purposes, for sure, but in terms of like the different sort of languages and stuff, you can just generally push a button and it all changes. But yeah.
Yeah, if I was going to say Russia, I wouldn't be trusting them.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Maybe they just wouldn't give him the Wi-Fi code.
Yeah, that'll work.
That Kempek or Cord actor as well. He's in a film that I really like called Blind Fury. I really liked it as a child. Rutger horror film where he's a blind guy and he's got to protect this kid. And the guy that plays Cord plays a bad guy in it, like a henchman type. Yeah.
What did you say, G-Star?
What is that?
I think Tavona's... Tavona's doing the Gowron eyes.
She's doing Gowron. Nice.
Do you know people like in pre-shows can like pop their eyeballs out? Like, does he actually do?
No.
Apparently, I heard that he was in the film Platoon, and every time I watch Platoon, I look out for him, and I can never find him.
He is in Platoon,
and I'm always looking for the eyes.
He is in Platoon. He's in 2 episodes of Knight Rider as well as a bad guy. Knight Rider.
I recently I was on Twitter, on Trek Twitter, and someone mentioned that I can't believe LeVar Burton was in the video for Word Up. And I randomly put out, wait till you freak out that you find out Garrett Wang was in a Michael Jackson video. And then Garrett Wang responded to me and he goes, yeah, not the same thing. Yeah, he was literally on scene dressed up as a Chinese soldier, and you wouldn't even know it was him if you didn't know. But yeah, obviously, if you see the video for Word Up, and if you haven't, he's like the main character in the whole video.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You can play it without sound. You can see him at the start of the video. He's very prominent. It's like a hostage situation, and he's there with a loudhailer trying to control the situation, and then he goes into this kind of dance.
What am I searching for?
Sorry, Word Up.
Word Up.
You know, realised that Smiler was telling us to do a close-up of all of our Gowron eyes. I didn't realise that Tavi was the only one that actually read Smiler's comment.
Is that a music video? What is it? Is it a film?
Yeah, Word Up. Your one Scary Spice did a cover of it once.
Word Up was done by Cameo.
Cameo, thank you.
Cameo. Oh, right, yeah.
G-Star, our resident music guru.
Hang on.
But apparently Garwan is randomly an extra in the
Oh, yeah.
The name, but he is in one.
Sorry, there you go. I've muted it because of copyright.
Blur my background like Mickey.
But there he is.
Oh, yeah.
Leave our button and Word Up. There you go.
Nice.
Who knew?
And wasn't like, I mean, I think him and, was it Cisco and a whole bunch of them, right?
By Cisco, you don't mean the artist who did the Pound song?
Huh?
Yeah. Let me see that song. Yeah, that was the guy called Cisco.
Oh, the phone song.
Truck. Guys like what?
Phone.
No. I mean, Captain Cisco, of course.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Leave Our Boat and Captain Cisco and, Avery Brooks, I should have said. And,
there's other people in it. There's like white people as slave owners in it that are in Star Trek. I can't remember who now, but there's a couple.
Yeah, there just seemed to be like a massive amount of Star Trek people in rooms, like which I only just found out last week. But yeah, it's mad.
Well, I mean, we didn't get Reading Rainbow over here, so it still kind of blows my mind. Like LeVar was independently famous before TNG came along. He was very well known.
I grew up on that song. What?
Word up.
Word up.
Amazing.
Okay, Act 5. There we go.
State in it.
No, unfortunately, it's Crusher. You're disappointed now, aren't you? You're disappointed, I can tell.
Yeah. She's in the ghost. It's really weird.
And Mr. Frakes is in this a little bit more, being that he's director. I mean, you know, he's done one sort of direction already, and now I guess he's getting a bit more used to it.
He's busy going around leaning on things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does that.
He's got a lovely figure in that bend over right there, though.
He's a little leaner.
He's leaner. So we're in Crusher's office. She reports her findings to Riker. Only 2 Klingons were killed in the bomb blast. One of them was Juras's aide. The other one was Garon's. After she examined the dead Klingons' injuries more closely, she realized the bomb was implanted inside one of their forearms. And the only wound made from the inside out, ergo the suicide bomber, she concludes, was Juras's aide.
I mean, it's a bit funny though, isn't it? Normally we can piece it together as to where it came from, but it was very, very confusing. I mean, if it came out of somebody's arm, it's going to be goddamn obvious in terms of forensics, but never mind.
Yeah. There's little Alexander there learning the Riker lean.
Rainbow.
Oh, he is doing the Riker lean.
Oh,
that's so cute.
That weird like club feet going on.
Sorry, what was that?
He's got like weird club feet going on. Like he must have.
Yeah, it's like that's what I was like.
That's what they do with the jumpsuits, isn't it? They like attach them to the shoes
to keep it looking stiff and military that go over the bottom of the shoes. But like it's just that the shoes are so wide, it looks really unusual.
He's got a hoof. I don't know.
It does.
It is long. They're like circular shoes.
Anyway, Worf, having shown Alexander a bit more about Klingon fighting techniques, brings him back to Kalar's quarters, only to find blood everywhere, and Kalar herself sprawled out on the ottoman. Oh, it's sad. It's very sad.
Sad times.
Worf signals a medical emergency and cradles Kalar in his arms. He says, "Gowron," but she shakes her head. "Duras." She nods and whispers, "Alexander." She reaches for the child's hands, puts it over Worf's, and covers it with her own, and dies. When her hand falls, Worf howls as part of the death ritual. Ah! Letting Tovokor know a warrior's on his way. Alexander runs away, having gently set Kalar's body back down. Worf walks over to his son, faces him. "Have you seen death?" Alexander shakes his head. Worf looks at Kalar's body and tells him, "Then look, and always remember." Dr. Crusher and Martinez come in and scan Kalar's body. Dr. Crusher begins to ask Worf when he found Kalar, but he was already out the door, having instructed Alexander to stay with Dr. Crusher Crusher scans Kayla and moments later and shakes her head. There's nothing she can do.
I just got to put something in there that I find kind of annoying with like the medical on board. You have a transporter. Why are you walking around? Why don't you just say, Dr. Crusher, transport the room now? Beam, done. Why are you running down hallways and going down elevators?
Well, I know in the original series there was a plot point that they couldn't beam inside a ship.
Yeah.
Because there was emitters on the ship that allowed you to shoot it outwards, but within the ship it didn't happen. And so that was part of the reason. But you could argue it's early TNG and they only got the ability later.
Yeah. They've got site-to-site transporters now on the ship, so
although site-to-site doesn't make sense, and the idea like the badge that's moving you dematerializes itself. It's like a rope, but the rope is pulling itself. It doesn't make sense.
And they do it a lot more in Discovery. They just go boom, 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 boom.
Like a site-to-site transporter is a kind of a beacon that signals something else. Fine, but the idea that it transports you while it's part of you, that's kind of like, trying to lift up your feet off the ground. It's not going to work. You're not going to get any higher. You're working against yourself.
And Smiler says, well, why not have, more med kits or something? You'd think that there would be some element of triage available locally. Yes, it's definitely a good point.
These are like
they talk a bit.
Die.
Yeah. They talk a bit in terms of like the development of this episode about, the whole concept around sort of killing off such a main character. And apparently one of the early ideas was that Kayla would come back with Worf's kid, but actually be having a relationship with Duras, and that's actually what caused, the conflict between him and Worf. And then as they went through sort of forming that story, Ronald Moore, I think, actually claims Michael Piller claims that he came up with the idea of killing Kayla, but I'm pretty sure that Michael Dorn in a previous episode said that it was something that he had thought of. So who knows? Anyway, multiple people are coming up with the idea of it. But they just thought, there had to be something that would push Worf over the edge, and that would be a really good way to do it. And they knew that she was a great character, and because she was so popular and she's such a great character, that's why they wanted the audience to be, really like, oh, you got to go and get Duras and be really totally on like Worf's side about getting vengeance, rather than a character that you cared less about and thought, oh, Worf shouldn't be, disobeying Star Trek or Starfleet rules. So yeah, it was kind of cool. And even though they've had, many comments over the years saying, great episode, but why did you have to kill off Kayla? They still stand by it as a writing decision. They think that's what made the episode what it is.
But aren't I right in thinking that she only featured in 2 episodes?
Yeah, but she was such a massive fan favorite.
Was she?
Well, I'd argue that was the point. The fact that people keep asking, why did you kill her off? That was the point. People were, as I said, were supposed to be incensed about it,
Yeah. She was a real fan favorite. And, as an actress, I think like Star Trek fans engaged with her. She was a larger than life kind of character, and unashamedly so in terms of her acting style. But she was beloved on set and by fans.
I love the way she squares up against Gowron and is just like completely badass about it, even though this is a Klingon who's one of the most powerful men in the Klingon Empire, and she's just like,
Yeah, and that's another thing they said is they wanted to go out in a really respectful way in terms of as a badass. Yeah, basically.
But he was a scrawny Klingon, like he wasn't a big.
Yeah, true.
It's an important thing, I guess, but
he must have had an impressive enough resume for them to be going on in that Sanchi talking about all the stuff that they done got, or else it'd have been like, oh, your list is short, man.
If I decide to spare someone who's 5'6", they're going to make it look fairly stupid. Yeah, you're on the punch on them, you're going to win, but like you'll be hitting air mostly. They'll just be dancing around you, make it look silly. So particularly if you're playing a knife fight, one hit and you're gone. A big heavy slow warrior like him, and if I was in good shape, I'd be about the same size as Worf. You wouldn't win that battle. If a little lad is dancing around you, making doing backflips and making it look silly. Prince Nassim, Muhammad Ali kind of stuff, just kind of dancing. Like it's like I can do this all day. I can just keep moving around. So
yeah. He might get a size modifier if he's small enough,
Yeah. All he has to do is get under you and one quick nick and you're gone.
We didn't get you.
Okay, so we got Worf in his quarters. He's removed his sash. He takes his bat lift down off his wall there, and he tosses his comm badge on the table, but completely misses, and it falls on the floor. And leaves his quarters.
Aldrich, surely, like his family honor would be, more important to him that he keep it on. But anyway.
Well, you'd think. I don't know the point of removing the sash.
He wears it to show his Klingon heritage and his honor, and then he goes to do the most Klingon thing possible, and he takes it off.
Yeah, it's weird.
And also, when they ask where he is, it's off the ship. Don't they normally track people by their comm badge? Normally we go, they're in their quarters, and you go to their quarters, and it's just their comm badge. But somehow they were like, he's off the ship.
But I love they never learn, and it just keeps working over and over again for hundreds of years. Like, comm badge again. They don't say you're a Starfleet officer, you have to have a tracer in your blood or a subcutaneous transponder. No, nothing. No, it's just like no, it's fine. We'll just trust you.
Sorry,
it's been a lot of time before, but we won't change the rule. Fine.
Gee, would you say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I see the whole sash taking off as more of a, I do not want to be encumbered by this, and I'm going to go kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't want anything to affect my range of motion.
Yeah. I'm a free fighter.
That makes more sense.
I'll strip to fight.
That's a good
Should
point.
have stripped down to his underpants then.
Taking his uniform off.
Relax.
Time to go again.
It's just a theme for the evening, right?
It's only Worf, though. It's only Worf. It's fine.
I know. He's so pretty.
In Kalar's quarters, Crusher reports to Riker and Picard that she had multiple stab wounds to the chest, abdomen, caused too much damage to her internal organs, and there wasn't enough time to place her into stasis. Picard asks where Worf is. Riker tries to contact Worf, but the computer reveals that Worf beamed onto Duras' ship, the Vaughn. Riker goes after him.
Do you guys remember from the last episode where they were talking about phasers to maximum stun?
Yes.
We know that setting is twitch and shit yourself.
22 settings, and I don't think that includes wide beam and low beam and stuff. So,
yep.
Although we thought of at least 60 settings last week, didn't we?
Smelt or heat rocks.
We settled on 47.
Melt doors. I know.
Melt the handcuffs or whatever that was.
Yeah, handcuff melt. Handcuff. Yeah.
Did you have cooked dinner?
Very useful things, phasers.
Well done.
Okay, so Worf enters Duras' council room on the Vaughn, and Duras demands to know what that is doing on my ship. And an aide states he has claimed the right of vengeance. Duras makes the ceremonial gesture of ostracism by turning his back, but Worf coldly and deliberately states to the room that Kalar was my mate. This startles Duras, and he motions one of his lieutenants to hand him his sword. Riker, Data, and a yellow shirt.
Finally!
There you go. Sorry, it's not a particularly good picture of him, but he's there, ready.
Yes, it is.
The guy in the background
They're all
doesn't
good.
look very happy.
The yellow shirt, no, I don't know who he is.
No, I'm no military man, but if I was going into a war situation with senior officers, you'd think you wouldn't put the senior officers at the front, that you'd be protecting them. You'd be going in first.
Cannon fodder.
I don't know. Lead from the front, I say. Lead from the front.
I guess if there's two, there'd be one in the back and one in the front.
Yeah.
Or if you're Rimmer, you just circle and become the one in the back and the one in the front.
Also, as mentioned last week, Trent is left-handed, and I guess the uniform didn't do left-handed because he has it on the right side.
Yes.
So,
well, technically, right now they're just walking down the corridor.
And Data's left-handed, so why is it on his right side?
Yeah, but doesn't the guy in the back?
They don't have to use no phaser.
Well, I suppose technically speaking, he can use either, but he's generally left-handed, so I suppose he doesn't lose anything by using his right. But it still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but the guy in the back has it on his other hip, right?
I think he does. Yeah.
It is. Well, Brendan's left-handed, and he does it left-handed.
I don't think that's his phaser. I just think he's happy to see him as.
Well, Brendan's left-handed. He does lots of things left-handed, so the character is the actor is kind of thing.
I don't know why they don't have like away team armor or something. You know, like.
You would think like some sort of flak vest or something that absorbs phaser
rather
fire.
than just their pajamas. They're going to a Klingon vessel, you know.
Because don't forget, like TNG was meant to be more of a utopian kind of.
Yeah, but still.
Future.
Sorry, I didn't get that, Sean.
Elite Force.
Oh, I'm breaking up.
Highly recommend it, but basically they get a team of kind of like a SWAT team in Voyager, and you go on missions, and they have armor and they have helmets, and they have a transporter buffer built into their suit, so if they need a different weapon, it comes out of the transporter button, just transports into their hands, and then they use it, and then they just swap it for another. So
yeah,
they cover a lot of it.
Sweetie, get in here!
It's a good playthrough if you want to see if you ever have the chance to play it. It's on Good Old Games, GOG.com, for about 6 or 7, so £5 probably.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they're off on the away team.
Is the Viking coming on screen?
Is the Viking here? The Viking has arrived.
He has just pulled up.
The Viking is in the building.
Sorry, carry on, Montalban, for a second.
Yeah, right. They're on their way to the transporter room. Data asks what to do. Worf resists, and Riker replies that one way or another they're bringing him back. And yes, they order their phasers to maximum stun. But the final question of the day, question 6. Duras' ship is the Vorn, but what is the name of Gowron's ship? Duras' ship is the Vorn. What's the name of Gowron's ship? Is it A, the Rotaran, B, the Pach, C, the Bounty, or D, the Barak?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Get back down here. Hi.
So yeah, Gowron's ship, is it the Rotaran, the Pach, the Bounty, or the Barak?
We have a Viking, and it's not even Thursday.
Look at that magnificent beard.
What a
magnificent.
That's a beard.
Goes down and down. Well, he's wearing black, so you can't see.
No, and it has color.
Put a white t-shirt on.
Smiler Rainbow is waving. She's a fan of your beard.
Smiler is really trying to push the whole. We all need to do a close up of Gowron eyes.
We need to do it.
She's telling you.
Show a photo of Robert O'Reilly just in nothing on makeup, and just to show how much he looks like Aaron. Despite it's nothing like Aaron.
Come on, ready? Broad eyes. Okay, I have to get up. Hang on. Okay, ready?
Somebody screenshot.
There we
go. You go. I hope Smiler's happy now.
I hope you're happy.
Okay.
Lovely.
Took her a while to get us there.
There you go. We got there.
I was going to have a Smiler, but I didn't forget.
We made her day there.
Brilliant.
Okay. Right. Where was I? There I am. Yes, maximum stun. Yeah, so we've had the question.
Betty.
We've had the question. Oh, no.
Yep.
Clicked on that one.
We have had the question. And Stuplum is still up. Well done, Stuplum. You're sticking with
us.
us.
Well done.
I really thought you wouldn't, but you're still here. Stay for the party.
Yes. We're nearly there. We're nearly there now. So
he's staying because he's in the lead and he doesn't want to lose his point.
he doesn't.
There he goes, too.
Well done. So there's a fight here. There's a vicious fight. Duras reminds Worf that if Worf kills him, the truth will die with him, branding Worf a traitor forever. Worf shoots back.
Also, those two weapons are clearly not wood painted silver.
Absolutely not. I believe the bat'leth actually had like a stiff back, but the ends were actually like rubber.
Well, I'd imagine they had stunt versions and proper versions.
Yeah.
At this stage, this is the first
episode. They look wooden. I mean, look at the.
That looks like plywood. It's not even rounded at the edges.
Look how sharp that looks.
Yeah. Any hurdy maker would not appreciate that. I'm sorry, none of you know what a hurdy maker is. Forget that reference.
Who? Sorry?
Mickey does. Everyone else doesn't. It's a bat used in an Irish sport. This is good.
It's a pretty good fight scene though between the two of them, and it's the first like proper bat'leth fight scene we've ever seen. It's pretty intense. I think they do a pretty good job of the choreography, and
I wonder if it's to do with the bat'leth guy, the martial arts guy. I think they worked on it so much they must have worked some of that choreography and the idea of how it would be used into this scene.
Yeah. So they fight. Sorry, you can say something, Sean?
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say the angular sword was used in all the toys and all the action figures, forever. But like this is literally the only appearance anyone ever used.
Yeah.
Well, later on, like the bat'leth doesn't become his favorite because basically Michael Dorn's skills are so much better in Deep Space Nine than they are in TNG.
Yeah,
he doesn't use a bat'leth, then he favors more of a
yeah. Well, I think it's more like bat'leth's kind of like a broadsword. It's big and heavy and big long swings. But the met'leth is kind of more like a samurai sword. It's more swift and quick and nippy.
They fight until Worf knocks Duras onto his back with a flat. Duras
on his ass.
Duras on his ass. Yeah. Just as Riker and Data burst in, Riker yells for Worf to stop, but Worf, with his weapon high above his head in both hands, fatally plunges one end of the bat'leth through Duras's upper chest. Tellingly, he does not bother to perform the death ritual for Duras. No one does, actually.
Worf's head there just sort of reminds me of like a chicken. A male chicken.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That's what he said.
Kind of got a bit of a pasty head going on. So the Klingon ships depart their business with the Enterprise for the moment's concluded. Worf's held accountable in Picard's waiting room. Picard notes that Worf's record has been exemplary until now, but he's kind of ruined it all. Worf says that he acted properly and legally under Klingon law, but Picard tells Worf that while the Klingons do indeed consider the matter closed, he cannot. He reminds Worf that when people join Starfleet, they abide by the laws of the Federation, including the one against murder. So, if your culture and beliefs prevent you to doing so, then you need to resign your service.
Smile a rainbow.
In this episode, there's 13 species on the Enterprise. And the Enterprise has 1,000 people on it. And the Federation has 800 worlds. It seems a little low. You expect to be over 100. 13 species, too low. It's the wrong number. 40. It'd be a great time to throw in a 47, and they didn't do it.
No, they didn't. He asks Worf if he wants to resign, and after a tense pause, Worf says he does not. Picard sympathises with Worf's loss and tells him that the crew all admired Kayla. Picard informs him that a formal reprimand will appear on Worf's service record. It's pretty nice there. You go and murder someone, and you get a reprimand for it.
Yeah, it's pretty light.
It's just the worst thing about this episode. It's just not very realistic. However, it's the best and worst thing, because it's good that you finally see somebody in the program actually do what you would want them to do. But but then the reality of his the repercussions is a bit unrealistic.
You've got the Federation and Starfleet sensibilities, which are there. It's like, well, they wouldn't have just reprimanded him, would they?
There's another episode of Deep Space Nine in season 5, I think, where they they leave a Cardassian fight to die so he can save Jadzia from death. And they go, "Oh, you're going to be captain before this, and now it's ruined it." And they go, "Did this not count?" They kind of forgot this happened. It's almost the exact conversation, but with Cisco.
It's a theme.
You murdered one of the joint highest people in the Klingon Empire.
No, I wouldn't say he murdered him. He defeated him in combat. There's a difference.
Well, no, that's how Klingons see it. That's not how the Federation and Starfleet would see it.
They both consented to the fight. They both agreed to be there. They both followed the rules, and one of them won and one of them lost.
Why has G-Star got my logo on his thing? That's weird.
I don't know. I think it's because he must be. I think it's because he's signed in as like a.
Is he signed in on my account? That's what it is. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
But I mean, it's.
You're muted,
it's all bad. It's all kind of bad, but then also, they also hated Duras. They also wanted him rid of.
Yeah, nobody liked him.
I mean, it's a little bit like, Janeway sometimes chastises the crew, but then, actually she'll let it slide. But I mean, it's quite interesting to note though that Duras and Gowron, between the two of them, Worf ends up killing them both at certain points. I mean, sorry, spoiler. Sorry, Mickey. Sorry, Mickey.
Thanks.
I know everybody else has seen it a million times, but Mickey hasn't.
Mickey, you haven't seen it.
Still, I forgot.
He's watching it all like new with us. He got interested in our channel from other content and then started watching Star Trek because he liked our other stuff. So he's a newbie. We birthed him. We birthed a new Trekkie.
We're so proud.
Yes, we're watching him grow.
And you're starting on a really
he's becoming like a real human being.
It's like Data.
I read somewhere recently that if you watch all the Trek, all 800 episodes and 13 films or something, and you treat it like a job, say 35 hours a week, apparently it takes about 5 months or something now, or something similar. It's not 5 months, maybe 5 weeks, but it's a hell of an amount of time to actually see it all.
That's a lot.
Just got starting again, and I was like, oh dear God, there's so much of it.
Mm. Well, you can forget.
I mean, it's crazy
Discovery.
to think that Worf is supposed to be like a normal guy, right? And he's basically killed like all of the top people in their Klingon. It's like you and I as a normal people, like just killing off multiple members of the royal family or the prime ministers or something. Yeah. It's just very, very odd when you think about it like that. Stu Plum, who is still with us, said he's finding this evening really exciting. And then he reminded us that when we first started doing this review show, we did 2 episodes per night.
We did.
And it would take 2 or 3 hours, wouldn't it? Yeah. And then we switched to 1 episode, which normally takes 1.5 hours, but we're nearing the 2.5 hour point because we have so many guests.
Just got to take the night to the other half. I'll be back.
Okay, I just looked up there. If you watch Trek for 4 hours a day, how long do you reckon it would take you to watch all of Trek up to date?
A long time.
For what, 7 days a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, maybe a year.
A year and a bit.
Yeah.
How long?
About 6 months.
About 6 months. Okay.
That's not too bad.
That's not as long as I thought.
So 4 hours a day for 6 months.
That's a lot.
I could spend 6 months doing that.
I just started watching TOS. It's really fun.
TOS.
What, for the first time?
Yeah, for the first time.
Oh, wow. Cool. Let us know what you think.
It is. And mostly because I'm writing the graphic novel that I have to go
Yeah.
back and I was
doing
like,
your research.
Research.
I've read up on TOS, but I've never watched it all. It's just so damn slow. I just can't put up with it. It's like, oh dear God, get to the point.
It's less my cup of tea also.
They pause and they sit there for 5 or 6 seconds staring at Shatner's face. It's like, just move on to the next thing. You can knock 10 or 15 minutes out of every episode. I'm not really a single line of dialogue.
Oh, I'm feeling old.
I do go to sleep often.
That reference to still being able to see the umbilical, was that with reference to Mickey?
Yes.
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 Oh,
I'm sorry right now, Mickey. You are just absolutely adorable.
You're my baby.
Thank you.
Soon he's gonna be in a Star Trek uniform, and we're all squealing. He's got so big.
He's wearing a uniform. It's just a
put him
different
in a
type.
little Alexander jumpsuit, right?
Actually,
Yes.
Sarah's wrong, because I was only looking at him on the small screen, and I actually thought he was wearing an open Monster Maroon, but he was just wearing a maroon hoodie over a white T-shirt. It actually looked like, from where I was looking on the tiny screen, it actually looked like that's what he was doing.
Ah. Did we do answers to the last question?
No, we still haven't finished the act. We're still halfway through the act.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Carry on.
Yeah.
We're not halfway through. This is right at the end.
Oh, it's near the end. Yeah, it's near the end.
All right, then. Let's truck on.
Okay, one other last thing I just wanted to mention is kind of in relation to what we were just talking about. Yeah, I just think that, TNG makes these moments feel slightly small, because you're talking about like choosing the Chancellor of the Klingon Empire, and they're doing it with Picard and two guys in his ready room. You'd think,
and no admirals. No.
There's no admirals. There's no pomp and ceremonies. No, it all feels very small.
Yeah.
Just
imagine during the last election in America, you just went up and you just shot Donald Trump. Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
It's the other guy.
Yeah, all right, we'll do it again. Bye.
Yeah. Anyway, just that sometimes I do feel like when they beam down to a planet and they meet someone and it looks like a small foyer of a hotel, and it's supposed to be like, I don't know, this massive city. TNG quite often feels quite small. That was just my main thing. But anyway.
Yeah, it does.
So Worf is dismissed. Yeah. Worf's dismissed from the ready room, but before he leaves, Picard asks him if it is his time to speak up about the truth about what really happened at Kittimer. With Duros dead, what's the point in keeping the family secret? Worf says that it's not yet time, as the High Council is not ready to acknowledge its own collective shameful behaviour in assisting Duros' cover-up. But the day will come when he and his brother will confront the lie and speak the truth. I think it's a bit of a shame he just doesn't get on with it, really. Worf tells Alex...
Definitely not from a Corellian ship. That's just Worf's chair.
Yeah.
It's a chair made of old basketballs.
Yeah.
I thought those were like those punching things, but like for some reason made round. I thought it was like a workout, like he's punching stuff or something. Like,
I think we've covered this before, but that chair was used in... It's like a very long list, isn't it?
See, you can't start a sentence like that. That chair was used in. It's like,
no, I mean like literally just like the longest list of episodes. So many. Peak Performance, Family, Redemption, Newground, Cost of Living, Fistful of Dates, Birthright Part 1 and 2, Parallels, Genesis, First. It goes on. But it's used as a many plot prop.
It looks like it belongs in American Psycho or something. It's
Is G just uniformed up as well? G just uniformed.
Yeah, he's put his data uniform on.
Oh.
You look lovely this time. Are you on Facebook?
He is.
Is your
Are you going to try and stalk you now?
Is your camera reversed? Because your badge is on the wrong side.
Oh, no, you didn't.
He's got his badge on the wrong side.
Oh my god.
I think his camera must be reversed.
You're gonna say your camera's reversed.
No, because the mirror's the right side of it.
Read the room.
Anyway.
I'll check it.
It's all right.
I've sent you his proper name, Tabby, so you can find him.
Yay!
We're live streaming again on Friday if you want to come.
Yes. They're doing the Monty Zone.
The Monty Zone on Friday. If anybody wants to come talk to us on Friday, we're doing the Monty Zone on this channel on Friday. G-Star and myself talking about UFOs, UAPs, and all things UFOs. So, if you want to come talk to us on Friday, check it out. There you go, G. I did a plug and everything.
G-Star. I know you.
Finally cottoned on.
You.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I have my brother coming over, and he has a television he's had for 13 years, and it's broken, and there's 2 lines running down the center of it. And he doesn't see why he needs to replace it, why he shouldn't just be using the same television. I recently bought a 50-inch 4K television, and I'm like, I'm going to show you why you need to replace it.
Oh, bless him. Bless him.
Funny.
Yeah. It's not even a money thing. It's like, I just don't want to throw it out. It's bad for the environment. I'm like, give it away to some child and put it in the playroom. Good luck to them.
Right,
come on, Monty Bang.
we're here. The final scene of Act 5. Worf tells Alexander the Enterprise will be going to Starbase 73, where Alexander will be sent to live with Worf's adopted human parents, Sergei and Helena. On Earth, where he will receive the type of family life Worf feels he cannot provide on the ship. He says, I know, I miss her too. Alexander asks, are you my father? And Worf says, yes, I am your father. And the 2 hug. And the Enterprise moves on with its life. Done. Here's a nice picture of them hugging. There you go.
Despite Sergei having not met him before, he knows exactly how to deal with it because he has all the plans at home.
Question answers.
Do you think
I missed a question?
Mads is trying to move us on, I think. So, question 6.
It would take me ages to compile it, so just tell me.
Duras' ship is the Vorn, but what's the name of Gowron's ship? Was it the Rataran, the Pak, the Bounty, or the Barak? And hopefully...
it was D, the Barak.
It was D, the Barak. So hopefully we had lots of Baraks and Ds.
I know Martox was the Rataran. Obviously, the Bounty was the captured bird of prey in the Star Trek 3.
Yep.
What was the other one?
Pak. It was where Riker served as first officer.
Yeah, that's the one we did the officer exchange,
Yeah. Yes, so they were all bird of praise. I thought it was quite funny putting the Bounty in there.
Are you still listening to us?
Yeah, I know. We're mad. Okay, so, yeah. You totting up the scores now, Mazamabon?
I am, and I'm guessing that maybe Kaz fell asleep again at some point because she hasn't answered the last few questions.
For sure.
That does happen.
I like this view.
Bless her.
You were so right. You were so right. My camera was mirrored, so I'm glad you put that up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
There you go.
And yes, there is a clear winner this week. Once again, he seems to be rocketing it away with the season so far. Is Stuplum. And then closely followed by Sean, Mickey, Tavi, and myself. So Stuplum had 420 points. Us 3 had 340 points.
Well done, Stuplum. I will put your score on the sheet once I get the sheet up.
Smiley Rainbow says Kaz had a rosé, so she is totally asleep.
Gone.
Gone. 1 glass, and that's her. She's out of it.
Do you remember that time that she had what she thought was alcohol-free gin, but it wasn't alcohol-free?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that why you were playing Fortnite with her, Mickey?
Yeah.
She got absolutely faced. That's hilarious.
I was in a pub in Galway once, and I saw a beer. I used to live in Belgium, and I saw a beer I used to love in Belgium. I was like, oh, I can't believe you had this. They were having a Belgian weekend. Got around it for everybody, and they had the glasses, the special glasses. And I said, this stuff is lovely, but just go easy, because it feels easy, but it's actually 7.5%. Anyway, I got about 2 fingers into my glass, and one lad had finished his, went back for another, and tried to get a shot of and I was like, oh Lord, it's going to be a long night. Don't do that.
Very cool. So yes, we got Stuplum now on 5. He's solidifying his first place. We got Tavona with 2 in the silver position, and then we have a 3-way tie for bronze with Sean, Andrew, and Mazam Bob. So there we go. And there's no point in me trying to click on the StreamYard because that doesn't do anything.
So if everybody can start putting their marks out of 10 into chat, that would be great.
Including you, G-Star, put your marks out of 10 in chat. And I will give my in-series score for this episode. 0 to 10.
For old times, can't I just use the paddle?
Yes, of course you can. Yes, you can. It just means it's going to take Baz longer to work it out.
That's fine. I don't mind.
I'll give it early.
That's fine. It's fine. You can use your paddle. We'll let you. You've got paddle privileges, G-Star.
Okay. Thanks.
And we said that too.
Okay, so...
Pardon? Oh, I didn't hear that.
Moving on.
What? Sorry, what's that, Sean?
I didn't hear.
What did you say?
I think it was something rude about a paddle.
Oh, I see.
He's up a creek without it.
I was behaving.
Okay, ready? Let's get our paddle. You got your paddle ready?
Yeah.
Just about.
3, 2, 1. Boing. Oh, G-Star.
An 8?
An 8. I like this episode.
8?
Yeah.
Great episode. Well, it's massive. There's like 3 major new characters introduced. Multiple characters die. It's a massive part of the Klingon lore and black backstory. So
it's just because it's not got data in it.
Extras.
Tavi's just like, I can't believe the...
It's not so much that it's not got a lot of data in it. It's not that at all. It's just that it's got too many Klingons in it.
Yeah.
I love a Klingon.
And not the Klingon women's that have the gorgeous, like, breasty, outy things. Like, I can handle if there were more female Klingons, I'd be like, this is nice.
The breasty outy things.
Protection, except for just here. We're never.
Yeah.
That's like that should
it's like nobody's actually going to stab you in the chest where your heart is, right? So that doesn't need armor.
You will respect those. They'll be like, I'm sorry, that is the spot of glory. I cannot. That's probably how they win fights. You bring those melons in, and you're like, I am powerful, and they're like, yeah.
What did everybody else score?
It was a range actually.
Variety
5, 6, 9, 6, 7.
6, 7, 5. Has anybody not put in theirs yet?
Well, I mean, there was no AB spot, and it was a bottle show as well. So those things bring it down a hell of a lot. Now, on the other side of that, there's a huge amount of future lore built into it. A lot of the modern Klingon lore in terms of the Bata, in terms of honor, in terms of right of vengeance, and all that better Klingon stuff was seeded here. But you have to balance that against the fact that it's a bottle show with established sets, and
that's not really well. It is a bottle show, but it's a bottle show that introduced a new ship class and had a lot of brand new shot. Space scenes with the Enterprise and the Klingon battle cruisers.
It wasn't like a super low budget.
You went onto those ships as well, so you saw those ship sets. A
lot of different sets.
All right, it's a reused Klingon bridge set and things like that,
and most of them are anyway, right?
But a lot of them are. Yeah.
They had a big set which they already had from the films, and they had like the throne room, which was just plywood walls painted grey and lit dark. So,
Yeah, but I mean, if you're going by a bottle show is where they reuse sets, that makes almost any show a bottle show, right?
It technically had new sets, and it I don't know, it wasn't the best for me.
It introduced the Batleth, it introduced the Vorcha class battle cruiser.
Gowron, it's like complete legends.
Oh, that's what brings it from a 4 to a 6.
I mean, I to be fair, I was verging on a 9, but I pulled myself down to an 8. But I'm glad Stuplum went for a 9. It's an awesome episode to me.
So what's the average?
The average is 7.
7.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't remember seeing any episodes really with Tholians in it, but I'm glad they talked about it.
Yeah, the Tholian web.
Yeah, the Tholians don't feature in TNG, I don't believe.
They just talk about it here, and I was surprised to hear that.
Yeah, well, they show Tholian ships in TOS, and they physically show a Tholian in Enterprise in the first Mirror episode. Is it In a Mirror Darkly?
Yeah.
But they never show in the Prime universe a Tholian.
You see Tholians in TOS as well. They're
Do
like,
you see them? Oh,
crystal-like things. You can see them on the view screen.
Yeah, Tholians featured quite heavily in Stowe as well.
Mm.
Yeah, it has to be about 800C, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit.
Star Trek Online.
Basically, the heat of 3 ovens warm or they die.
That's right.
They're basically living.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I wish they do get used more, but they don't.
They're going to be in a graphic novel, BTW.
Yeah, they're very interesting.
Hey,
they're
nice.
really interesting.
You got to
characters.
bring in the cool aliens. I want more cool aliens.
You know, it'd be fun if the Tholians and the Breen had an alliance, just for ridiculousness.
Mm.
That'd be scary.
The Breen, is that the thing that's like the Princess Leia bounty hunter mask from?
Yeah.
The refrigeration suits. They have no blood. And they live in refrigeration suits.
They live in an ice world.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
They're pretty powerful warrior race.
It's not an ice world. It's balmy, and he has no idea why they wear the refrigeration suits.
Oh yeah.
And they also say if you ever see a Breen's face, you won't live to tell the tale. But then when they're rescuing Torres Zial, Gul Dukat and Kieran Reese knock out a few of them and take their uniforms. So clearly they got to see what they look like. So. But they also say in the Jem'Hadar camp that they have no blood, and they do wear the refrigeration suit. So who knows?
So the Breen are like Star Trek's version of this like bounty hunter when Princess Leia's got the mask on.
They look like
it. The Mandalorian.
They look like it. It's just the same mask.
They wear a refrigeration suit, and they have kind of a visor with like a Cylon green thing, and they have this kind of snout on it. And like the rumor is, if you ever see their face, you won't live to tell the tale. But we know that not to be true. So yeah. A little bit
Mandalorians.
No. They kept it deliberately vague, but yeah, they kind of contradicted themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be mysterious, and we like a bit of mystery, right?
Yeah.
Stuplum says he's still awake. Goodness gracious me.
Gosh.
Well done, Stuplum.
Yeah.
It's normally like 9:30 and he's off.
I was trying to find maybe a picture of it, but I can't.
Of a Breen.
Yeah, I can't find.
I'm looking on my phone. So
to help you out, but how do you spell Breen?
B-R-E-E-N, I think.
B-R?
W-E-N.
W-E, yeah.
Yeah.
W-W-E.
W-E.
B-R-E-E.
I like that.
I don't think I had anything else other than Jonathan Frakes was saying that he really liked the fact that Rick Berman was throwing him some great episodes. He was like, 3 people got killed, there was murder, there was revenge. I've been really lucky. Susie was a great extra. So yeah, he really loved doing this episode. And that was it. That was the only other piece of commentary I had.
I'm sure this wasn't deliberate, but if in Irish, if you put an "een" on the end of a word, that makes it smaller. So, like, if my father was Sean, he called me Sean-een, that would mean I'm little Sean. So I'm just thinking if it was Burr-een, it'd be like a little burr, like, like a small freeze. And that just kind of popped into my head, and I went, oh, maybe they were thinking of it, but it's unlikely. Like it.
So yeah, that's the Breen mask there on the left, and that is Princess Leia's bounty hunter mask from Return of the Jedi. And everyone always said like he's a blatant ripoff. It's basically
in the first scene where you see Boba Fett. There's another bounty hunter who's actually there's two to be noticed. One is a blatant reuse of a Doctor Who costume, and the second one is IG-88, who's the robot who you see in The Mandalorian. He's actually in the canteen. There's like little metal things.
Yeah, he is.
And they basically just threw them all together to create a mannequin. They just reused it. So it's kind of funny that those two came together.
Anyway, I just thought I'd show you that. That's
very cool.
That's what we're talking about.
Star Trek ribbing, where they use some sort of insulation material that they always use on everything.
Sorry, Tavi, what are you saying?
Is there honestly no one else who's got like Princess Leia's like mask voice going off in her head? Every time I see that photo, I'm that person that the second they see or hear something, it plays off either a song or a clip from a movie, and I just can't get it out of her head. She's like going, "Hey, yato, He's because he's holding a thermal detonator."
Brilliant.
My husband would tell you that's his entire life. I'm singing parodies and like popping in lyrics or like far too exact bits of script. It's like, please let me watch that movie.
I like the way C-3PO translates from whatever she's speaking into English, but instead of just speaking Huttese to Jabba the Hutt, he speaks to him in English, even though clearly he speaks Huttese. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You got all these plot holes.
So we've moved on to Star Wars, right?
I said earlier, if you watch, when they get into the show,
wrong franchise. Come on.
Yes, it's Star Trek, people.
Okay,
Don't you see the uniforms?
All right,
I'll give you a simple one. When they get on the turbo lift and the door is open, the carpet doesn't stop. There is no break in the carpet between the turbo lift and the main floor. It's one continuous carpet.
So how did the door shut?
Futuristic carpet.
The carpet just like knit back together when they open it.
That is futuristic carpet.
Who wants to
Somebody
see?
got a great military contract, and they're like,
who wants to see the trailer for next week's episode? Me.
And I'll do it in such a way that you get
just helping Monty move things along.
You get the you should hear it
next time on Star Trek.
Oh God, I thought it started then.
Sorry. Here we go.
On the next exciting episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, imagine waking up in a mysterious future.
Data, I haven't remembered a day for the last 16 years.
Where time has altered the crew's destiny.
Perhaps it would be best if we discuss this.
Remember me? No, not remember me.
Is it a Romulan trap to sabotage the Enterprise?
Shall we end this charade?
Or an endless nightmare with no escape? Find out on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Geordie of A's, or did I see?
Yep.
Yeah, no spoilers for Mickey, by the way.
Oh.
But it's a good one, right?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It's a very good one.
Sorry, couldn't resist.
What was that? Sorry.
I said, "Oh, Mickey, what a pity you don't understand."
Yeah, I just had to make the chat window disappear for a minute because I had to do a different screen share. Sorry, Smile. I've done it now. Yep, that's next week's episode, Future Imperfect. It's a good one. It's a good one next week.
All I'll say is it didn't win any awards for the effects makeup.
No. It's very
nice. It's the story, right? It's all about the story.
You'll understand when you see
where the heart of it breeds.
1990s effects makeup.
It is a good concept.
Oh yeah.
It was bad by 90s standards, let's be honest.
Now they'll just digitally age you, or we could do it probably with a Instagram filter. It would work, but yeah, back then.
Actually, no, I don't want to say anymore because Mickey hasn't seen it.
No spoilers, Mickey.
I was more referring to the last scene, and the effects makeup was just like, yeah. Although all the way through it was bad.
My phone has now died, so I can't even check chat. Sorry, carry on, Tavi.
Well,
I'm gonna have to spoil something for him.
Oh, go on.
There's not enough data in this episode, so you will be disappointed.
Also, they show him in the trailer wearing red, and I think it's only the second. There's only 2 times he wears red that I remember.
He looks good in that red too.
When Captain Jellicoe gets rid of Riker, I think he wears red then.
Chain of command.
I don't know, maybe it's another one, but it clashes with the yellow makeup, so he generally doesn't wear red.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
Even though he was third officer, he never wore red, although he should have done.
Yeah, he should have been a red person, shouldn't he? Really.
And he was both ops and science officer and third officer, so he could have worn any color really. But they generally didn't put him in red unless they had to.
Yeah, you think it would have been red or blue, really, but.
Well, he could have been yellow as well because he was ops officer.
He was ops.
Science is blue, so, and he was third in command, so he could have worn any color in theory. He could have ended up. He could have ended up like Wesley in season 2 and just had like a rainbow stripes.
He could have just gone Beta Z wedding and just strutted around like that.
Yep.
That modesty program just didn't do it right.
He didn't. He has no modesty, so
He didn't.
No, he does have a modesty
he has a modesty subroutine.
Yeah.
Yes, so he does.
That's why he doesn't walk around naked.
Yes.
Did somebody just say there was a third officer?
Deary me.
Mickey doesn't have this problem, but yeah. Okay. I'll tell you, I did mention I lived in Germany briefly, and a girl who knew another Irish person, well, he was trying to boast to her to tell her how many houses she had, houses he had, and she was telling her he had 3 houses. Of course, he didn't say 3
houses.
He said he had 3 houses, and the German girl's like you've got houses in the trees, like. But oh yeah, 3 houses.
Yeah, I got 3 houses.
You didn't get far with that girl.
It's like I went to a resort in Turkey, a 5-star resort that was frequented by Germans, and I went to the bar and ordered one of their cocktails, which was a dry martini, and the guy thought,
"Oh, they gave you 3.
They gave me 3. They gave me 3 martinis."
Yeah, it's token.
Yeah, and I took my martinis back to the table, and Vicky looked at me, Smiler Rainbow looked at me as though, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Dry martini, 3 martinis."
Brilliant. I spy dry.
Token is the German word for dry, just so you know.
Anyway.
Too late now. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
You got to the stage where I could order really well in German, but then they'd come back to you and ask you questions, and you were, "Whoa, too much." So, like you learn, and can I haben 5 Bier, and you really put the accent on, and then they come back to you and start having a conversation about your star sign. So you just learn to drop the accent pretty quick. They say, no, I'll just say it in my normal accent in German, just because they don't ask me any questions. Don't fuck me up here.
Well, thank you very much, Sean, Tavi, Mickey, and G-Star for coming and joining us this evening. It's been really good fun having this.
It's a pleasure.
Pleasure, Gordon.
I think, though...
How could I not fail to come home with all these handsome people?
Beautiful people. Beautiful people. I think Maz and I have been talking about this, and we want to do a bit more of this. So if any of you want to come on in future, you're always welcome. And if you want to let us know whether you want to be the quiz master or anything like that, then again, let us know, and I'd very happily relinquish that responsibility.
Yes,
it's a hard job.
It's a hard job. Rotate.
Excuse me.
Rotate between people if you're interested.
Excuse me. I call dibs on all data-related jobs. All data We'll
prioritize you on any data stories then, right?
I will come with all the tips and all the info and the photos and the fan fiction and the art.
My brain works in a funny way, so I make connections other people wouldn't. So I'm like, this co-star started an episode of Matlock with each other Star Trek star. You're like, what?
Yeah, you would have to dumb the trivia down for what normal people would know.
You'd have to get down to my kind of levels.
I feel that we need to bring the standard to normal a bit higher when it comes to the Song family.
Mazza, here's the question. Who played Cat in the US Red Dwarf pilot?
Who played
Cat? The Cat. There's a US.
The Cat.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, that was.
I don't know who played in the
Spot.
US
Perfect
version.
answer. I'll say that.
All I know is like Danny John Jules for the UK one.
Actually,
who's awesome.
I think it was.
He is the cat. You know.
Was it not Danny John Jules who played it?
Yes, it was. No. It was, wasn't it? Oh no, it was Crichton. Did Crichton go across and play Crichton?
Yeah, Robert Llewellyn.
Yeah, I knew one of them
Robert
went across.
Yeah, Crichton played Crichton.
It was a Star Trek actress.
A Star Trek.
It was what?
Yeah, well, she went on to be famous. She went on to get a role on Star Trek afterwards.
Colour me, I don't know.
No, I don't.
Terry Farrell. I don't know why I said Jerry. Terry Farrell
right.
in a pilot for the US version of Red Dwarf before she got Deep Space Nine.
I did not know that.
And you can look it up on YouTube. You can see the US Red Dwarf pilot.
That just doesn't work in my head as having cat.
Yes, there is footage, and I believe it's on YouTube, where you can see her playing Cat in the pilot. And funnily enough, the pilot didn't get picked up, so I guess the network agreed with you.
Yeah, it didn't work, clearly.
It clearly didn't.
Good to know, though.
You know, I'm looking that up right now.
Can't let Sean do the chat, yeah. I mean, that did you the quiz. He will murder us, but educate us.
Yeah. Shush.
I've realised why Mickey didn't come on earlier. Did we really sort of put a crimp in your watching our show and playing Fortnite at the same time habit?
Not the name. It's fully committed tonight.
Nice.
It's still compete.
Oh, here we go. Sorry, everyone. Bear with me a sec. Share.
Bear with us, callers.
You won't hear us. I'm not.
See, G-Star's arm's gone a bit invisible.
The UK show that goes to America.
Look, it's the cat. And
they put in cheesy jokes and a laugh track, and it didn't work.
It's weird.
Can't hear it.
No, to impregnate all of us with his demon seed. Yeah, I got butterflies.
Oh, you've done it on mute.
Yeah, I put it on mute.
He'll only kill you. So what?
That's Terry Farrell.
Embarrassed. You get up, you start again.
That's so weird. That is so weird.
Well, every UK show they went to the UK, with the exception of The Office, they got rid of the dry humor and they put in the cheap laugh track, and it just lost whatever the magic it had. It just went away, and it just wasn't there.
I think there are just things that don't translate. Like, it's a different sort of sense of humor, I think. But yeah,
The Office, which is the only example I can think of. Like, they made it in betweeners, they made Skins, they tried Faulty Towers, they tried loads of things.
Do you think if they'd kept it the same as the dry sense of humor, then it would have done better than if it had been sort of tried to be changed for an American audience?
American audiences need the jokes in their face, and they made it.
I don't know. I mean, Tabby, what do you think? It's like, obviously,
no, it has to be dumbed down. It won't work.
Would it not?
Like, it has to be. Do you see it? It's in your face. Look at it. You know,
yeah,
I would disagree with that. I would say back then, yes. Now, not so much.
No.
Yeah.
Now, but they understand now.
They did the IT crowd. They did a US version of the IT crowd, and they copied the script word for word, and it still didn't work.
Probably just because that's not a great show anyway.
Oh, shush, G-Star. It's great. What are you talking about?
G-Star,
it was fun. It was a fun show.
It was dry humor.
You got to turn it back off and turn it back on again.
And Moss getting a compliment for his tie, and he completely misinterprets it as if, well, you can't buy it or you can't have it.
Sorry.
That was
I like your tie. Sorry, it's not for sale.
He's such a good actor. You just gotta love him.
Cleaning windows is a noble profession. Yeah, if your last job was cleaning balls.
The
episode with the same guy who wrote that wrote Father Ted, and he wrote Black Books as well. And I go right in and he really has a snap on him. Although, don't engage with him on Twitter, or he may get banned off of Twitter.
Right, no night, Stupler. No night.
Majram Stupler.
Majram.
I can't sing that anymore because my phone has died. But Majram.
Yes, Majram. Okay, well, I think that was this episode. What was it? Well, what episode were we talking about again? Reunion. That's it. Join us next week. Join us next week, and probably some of these guys if they want to come along again for Future Imperfect. That's what we're talking about next week. So yeah, cheers everyone, and we'll see you
and make
next
sure
week.
you come along on Friday.
Oh,
the
Monty Zone.
The Monty Zone. Yeah.
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Friday.
GMT.
Okay, so sorry I'll miss it.
For all the UFOs.
All the people who just got Paramount Plus and didn't watch stuff illegally, you've got some catching up to do.
Oh yes, that's true. That's true. Okay, cheers everyone. Night night.
Bye.
Cheers, guys. Bye.